welcome to the Old World Fanatics, your Warhammer fantasy podcast to quench your hobby thirst for all things the Old World. And I'm one of your hosts, Gomo. I'm back with Andrew and Josh as usual. How's everyone today?
Yeah, good, thank
Pretty
you.
Good. Yeah, glad we hit record then again. Man.
Yeah.
You got a lot on your plate, so I'm glad that we're here just to remember to go.
Starting
press
to,
record,
like everyone's
Colin.
got their little. Well, this time Andrew said, "Did you hit record?" and Josh hit record because he's logged in as an admin.
Yeah.
So we're delegating here. It's good.
Yeah.
It's like the control room here. Like multiple monitors trying to work there. It's always 9 o'clock. I start going, my brain's not working as well. Cool. Awesome. And Josh has a big smile on his face, hopefully, from he got good games on the weekend. Tournament.
Some fun.
Not so much Old World, but hopefully people don't mind.
Old-fashioned six-head fun.
Yeah. As I said last podcast, I think we are the Old World Fanatics, which doesn't technically mean the Old World. So, even though that's
there's a big
logo down
icon of it down the bottom. And most of our videos
Sorry about that little guy.
Ignore that. No, look, it's we're going to cover whatever fantasy we want to cover, I guess, and hopefully people will listen to it.
Absolutely.
And like it. So nothing.
I mean, surely it's just as fun to listen to these games as they play out. Like the cut and thrust of it's still there, like it's it's fun.
Absolutely. Cool. Yeah. So obviously we're going to talk about Uprising, which was a tournament that Josh went to on the weekend. Andrew and I got another game in. We didn't stream it. We got a game in last week. And depending on when this, I think it might already be out on YouTube by the time someone's listening to this, but depends. Hopefully
depends when they listen to it.
That's true too. Yeah.
It's next week. It's definitely out.
We won't go through ours in depth, but we'll probably have a bit of a chat through some things on that. But we do actually have news, but that we'll talk before all that, which is about some of these reveals and things that have just popped up.
We've got some reveals, don't we?
Yeah. So we're definitely going to go through.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
Yeah, because it's like the interesting time, isn't it? Like, it's like, is this setting the cadence or not? That's what I want to know. Like, pretty keen to get all the factions out.
3 odd months.
Like this.
Wow. Well, not for us.
I think it. But I think but then now's delayed as usual as well. I'm not sure. I mean, we'll get to the article, but like this, when it says it's delayed, I can't. Like, do you think they're going to delay our pre-order? It wasn't specific, was it? I was under the impression like we'd still order it, but it might be delayed release, but maybe that's not right.
Yeah.
I guess we'll maybe read the article again when I share it in a minute and we'll see if
I feel
it's
like
answered. I can't remember.
We're going to get used to this.
Yeah.
The cadence, man, it's a slow uphill.
Can't ask too much, can we?
Yeah. Cool. No, so that's going to be cool. We're actually going to see some new sort of newish stuff. I mean, they have shared some of this before, but there's a few little other ones in there, which is cool. But anyway, before we get on that, we'll just do a little bit of housekeeping, which is shouting out our Patreons, which we have another one from last week, I think. Actually, maybe two. One paid, one free, I think. Unless that free one is a double up, I'm not sure, but we'll get through these anyway. Thanks, guys. Just so what is it? Patreon.com/ / whatever it is, Old World Fanatics. If you guys want to join, it's about $2 a month. Helps us do what we're doing right now, which is paying for recording software and forgetting to hit record. For every patron, it just helps us remember to press that record button, I guess. So it does help. So anyway, I'll give him a shout out. That was a really bad joke. So Sean and Josh are our new supporters from last week. So thanks, guys. But other than that, we've got Ninium, I can't even pronounce that one, Matt, Daniel, Jonathan, Gilthos, Cameron, Elliot, Chris, Harrison, Julian, Diesel, Cameron, Richard, William, Robert, and, hang on, Slimy McSludge Pants. Is that the same as last week?
No.
It's not. Okay.
Wasn't it the droopy horn last week or something?
Yeah,
I feel like it was the
I can't keep up.
I'm deliberately not remembering and not reading it, so I want to make sure, this is what's confusing.
A surprise every time.
Andrew McAllister, Bobby Gherkin, Gunwich, Sean, Todd, and Chapstick. So thanks, guys. It's a small growing list, and we really appreciate your support, guys. But look, if you can't do that, obviously subscribe to us on oldworldfanatics.com, or if you're on the YouTube side, hit like, subscribe, and hit that bell button, and that obviously helps us get reach. So, yeah, with that's all the sort of prompts out of the way. We should get on to, I guess, the news, which is, and we sort of missed, I think we might have missed a small bit of news last week, and I can't remember. Astute listeners will know. There was an Adepticon, so I might talk about this first. There was a Adepticon announcement last week saying they are doing reveals, which is this, I guess, Australian time, this Thursday, 2 p.m.
This probably came out like 2 hours after we were recorded, by the way. That's usually what happens.
Yeah. So, basically,
good time.
Yeah, well, I'm actually considering, I don't know, Andrew at least, maybe. I don't. Josh is probably working
what's this on Thursday?
I was wondering if it's worth trying to Andrew do a live reaction stream.
Live reaction stream. Oh my god, guys!
We could try it. We'll see how we go.
Peak streaming.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what. So anyway, if I just scroll down, I won't go through the whole thing because this is last week's news. Warhammer: The Old World is up there. They did mention it in that video, which was just at the top of the page. I think obviously the big reveal is probably going to be what they've been harping on with the AOS, probably 4th edition. I don't know if you guys have been seeing that Sigma Lied stuff they've been sending around.
4th edition what now?
4th edition AOS.
Oh.
It seems like, the rumors are Skaven's coming for them. So I'm assuming that's going to be sort of the big
more
thing.
ratty boys.
Yeah. But obviously the cool thing is they haven't ignored the old world and we are getting some. And at the time I thought...
it just sounds like more model support for the old world to me. That's all I'm hearing.
I am slow today. Yeah. Yeah. Especially if it's Skaven and whatever. Oh, well, you always know it's going to be Stormcast, hey, on the other side. So it's whatever the other army is, which will be Skaven. Yeah. It's definitely going to be old world. Yeah.
At least the old world's in the middle there on the little poster, the promo.
Yeah, true.
You got 40k Age of Sigma and then Older Worlds in the next tier.
Yeah, what do you think? Like, this is actually previews here, and then down here says exciting teasers for these two. So does that mean these are bigger? Must be. Well, they would be.
Yeah, what's the difference between preview and teaser? Yeah.
A teaser's probably like, when they show like a little tiny portion of like a model. It's just like, like that, those stupid things.
Just a silhouette.
Or something like that. Oh, guess what this is?
Yeah. No, it's going to be good because at that time, I think when this came out last week, I just said, hopefully we will see what's coming next to the orcs, but maybe we are just going to see more orcs. But I guess today's news was everything dropped for the orcs for pre-order this week. And so that's sort of the big news, I guess, for the old world people, which I guess everyone
is good.
See this. Yeah. So the old world. So now we know it's 3 months, at least by the sound of it, that they're going to bring another army out. Well, I mean.
Yeah. For one army, though, that's a.
But is it? This is, I don't know. I'm still hoping that Thursday they show another one and then they start. Maybe they follow the second one quicker, maybe, and then maybe it is a 3 month gap, and then they try and push 2 out. Who knows?
As in 3 month gap between each army, or 3 month gap and have 2 armies in that 3 month period.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. But I'm probably hoping.
Well, it's going to be like two odd years before. Yeah,
but maybe that's what they're happy with. But I just think it'll piss I don't know, too many people off. And by the end of the last 9th army, they won't buy it because they've already printed everything.
Whatever.
Well,
it's the Arcane Journals you want. So it's kind of
you're right.
You got to wait 2 years for that. Be a bit. Anyway.
Yeah, the journals, but also if you want to pick up a new army, you can't do it unless you go third party, which is really frustrating. But this is a massive drop, isn't it? Like there's so much to go through here.
And I mean, I'll probably think of it as we go here, but it's missing a lot too. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot that isn't there. Some of that's because it's in AOS.
I don't know enough about the range to be able to pick up on the misbits, but go for it.
Yeah. So, obviously the first thing, and look, I'm probably saying old stuff by now, but obviously we've seen a lot of this, but it's worth I don't know if we fully went through it or not on a podcast, but obviously the Orc and Goblin Tribes Battalion's coming out. I mean, honestly, for me, and I'm an orc player, it's pretty underwhelming, and I think most people say that because it's goblins, which you just don't see them, and they're the old goblins. So, you know, if you need board chariots,
just regular gobos,
yeah, you just never see them, because night goblins are just so much better. And on top of that, the AOS goblins now, you know, the hobgits are pretty good proxies, I reckon. So, but at the same time, I mean, look, let's just get used to it. I mean, Old World is about nostalgia, and there's going to be plenty of people who still want, maybe not these, I mean, there will be people who want these goblins, but just all the old classic sculpts anyway. I just think, you know, if I was predicting, you know, if I looked at sales of, you know, the core Brett ones and even the Tomb King release versus this box set, this one's probably not going to be anywhere up there, I wouldn't imagine. On top of that, as you'll see, is they've released... at the same time, they've released the Orc guys, the Orc boys, in their own box as well. So you don't even have to buy this battalion if you just want the Orcs. So,
Oh, really? Right. They've actually released them separately. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so at least from this page. So I would imagine this one's going to be... the only thing is, if you're new and you're coming into it, this is still a good box set potentially.
Yeah,
if you have
sort
nothing,
of.
you know what I mean? And it would be...
If you want some regular gobos.
Cheap.
Yeah.
25 orcs is good. I like that they got the bigger unit.
That's a lot of orcs going on there.
25.
Is it 25 or 31? It's 31 orcs. Yeah, I think.
Oh.
It's 30 orcs, but there's a missing orc
6
somewhere.
Oh, sorry.
You can make 31.
Yeah.
It's 5x6, and even the box art, well, that's off the box art as well. There's only 30 orcs there. But the way you can build the command groups and stuff, I think you can come out with 31, so that's why they put 31.
Yeah, sorry, I thought it was 5x5. Yeah, 5x6. That's 30 orcs, that's good.
Yeah, it's even more value.
Yeah.
And I don't think orcs are, like, there's builds out there where you're happy to take big units of orc mobs, I think. We know chariots are good in this edition, so you could probably complain a little bit about the old school chariot, but I mean, and the chariot's probably cool actually. I don't mind. It's the balls that are a bit weird.
Yeah, they're not terrible.
Yeah, there's a certain charm to them.
Yeah.
The balls.
So I think people will still get them. I just the amount of goblins there, I'm a bit, well, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and the fact there's no other new mini in there as well. Like this is the first. Both of the other boxes had something that you couldn't buy, especially outside that army box as well. So it really, I think it really enticed a lot of people to invest in it.
See, like, as me, I buy pretty much. I want to buy everything Old World, but I won't get this box.
You're going to buy this box?
No,
you're not going to buy this one. Oh, mate, wait. So
you're going to buy 2.
What I'm hearing is you're only going to buy 2 rather than 3. Okay.
Yeah. No, I don't need the chariots, and so they're like. But you're right. If this had like, I don't know, some new big, orc and a wyvern, even though I don't need them, if it was new, you'd buy that because that's where you can get it from. So bit of a. I still think it's a bit of a miss for them, but I mean, it's not. It's not terrible given the rest of this as well. I think it's a pretty big release. So,
well, do you think they might have a new? Because all this stuff in here that we're going to go through, it is. Is it all? Oh no, the next one you're about to hit the big box. Is that a new mini?
Yeah. I was just going to bring up one question before I went to that. So the new thing that this box set comes with is transfers for orcs and goblins, 75 and 84 decals respectively. I don't know where the decals go because I'm pretty sure I've got some of these guys and I'm pretty sure that's
they are.
That's sculpted on there.
Yeah, it is.
Where are you putting the decals? I'm confused.
Wait,
I can't remember.
Hold on. Can we just pause it and go, wait, how do you pronounce this word? I've always pronounced it decals.
I say decal.
Yeah,
I just like completely.
I say decal too, but today I heard on the podcast people call them decals, and I was like, oh, okay. It just came
Is that an
out.
American thing? Or
maybe it was. I don't know.
I've never heard anyone say it like that before. It really interested me. I was like, have I been saying it wrong all these years?
Tomato.
Come on. But unless the sword and board orcs have the plane shields, but I wonder if there's plane shields in this box set they're not showing. Because where are you putting all these stickers? So, not sure.
There's a lot of stickers. Yeah, surely there's plain
there is
shield.
definitely
Like,
blank orc shields. I just can't remember what figures they were on because I've got some, but I can't remember what they were from. So
it'd be so GW to have embossed shields, but also put in a whole bunch of transfer sheets. Like, it's so ridiculous that you can't use.
Anyway, so that's a weird thing. Yes, but so we get on some new stuff, and these are all like either Forge World resin. Well, they are Forge World resin, I guess, the new stuff. So that's the new orc boss.
This is the first time we've seen him, right? Like,
boss.
We haven't seen this.
No. Yeah, he was revealed the other. Yeah, he was revealed.
Oh, he was
back when they did that original sneak peek at Warhammer World or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I think he's cool. It's funny. He's class as a black orc big boss, but he doesn't look like a black orc in terms of coloring. But yeah, no, he's cool. I like him.
Black
I'll
enough.
get him. Yeah. I'll end up with too many big bosses.
He's pretty big, isn't he? Like, if you think that's a 30, if that's a 30 mil base,
it's big.
Yeah.
Ooh, he's chunky.
He's a big boy.
I like that he looks classic orc too.
But they're supposed to be. Like, I feel like
AOS-y.
Yeah.
AOS-y.
Yeah. He's definitely got a classic feel to him. I think he really looks good.
Yeah. No, I think he's good. All
And
the
I think
little skulls and stuff. It's cool.
even if he's significantly larger than the other older boys too, like at least with orcs and goblins, the fluff fits for that.
Yeah, exactly. The bigger the orc, the more people he's taken on. Yeah. Totally. He's been attacking the Brion, whatever it's called, the Bretonian dudes up there with the black and red shields. So
Hey,
horse. Yep.
What's he up to?
So he's taking someone out.
Yeah.
So,
Can't stand for this.
At least the horse.
yeah, but he'll be good. And then this is the guy I was actually painting the other day. Yeah, this guy's coming back.
It's a real old school one, eh?
Yeah, he was in metal, and then they fine cast. Well, was it called fine cast? Yeah. Which I've got the fine cast one, but it's funny that they make the mention. I love how they just. I guess they have to, but they're so particular on what comes and what medium it comes in. So this comes with the classic plastic dragon wing sprue, as well as obviously retooled into Forge World resin, which is just funny. But yeah, they didn't bother doing that with the wings. The wings were fine. They're just not massively highly detailed, but they're cool.
Yeah.
They are what they are. He's going to be good. And this is all I've always wanted to get her, and I just never did because at the time I didn't have the money. Ironically, it's probably more expensive still when she comes out. I was going to ask you guys, like,
but you've got more money these days, so it's okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe.
Do you?
Might buy a restaurant, so I'll lose all my money. But anyway, that's a different question. How much do you think this will be? I can't remember what it used to be. Forge World pricing, I don't know, because it's pretty big, isn't it? What base is this?
Yeah, it is big.
Looks huge. I don't know what base size it is.
I think it's like 75
dragon base
by 100 or something. It's big. It's bigger than a 50 by 100. I'm pretty sure it's 75 by 100. I might have one of these in my.
So it's like a dragon size mini
you got one
in
there,
Forge World. Do
okay, so how big is it? Pretty big, isn't it? Obviously.
It's big, yeah.
Yeah.
It's big.
Yeah. No, she's cool. I'll definitely want to get it. And obviously...
Do you remember how much it set you back?
Nah, I got it as part of an army.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
And the army was about $1,000, so I don't know. I probably got a bargain. Back in the day, like armies used to be. Yeah.
No, she's going to be good. And obviously, she comes out in the Arcane Journal. It's interesting. She comes with access to a unique spell.
This is really cool. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really interested.
Yeah, and she must pick for any troll-centric horde.
Does that mean she'll have six spell, like a full lore? It's not just like signature spells, is it? Like,
I don't, ma'am, no idea. It seems weird if they bring out a whole 6 spells. Maybe it's just a couple. I don't know. But well, she might have access to Warg and then have her spell lore, which has 1 or 2 signatures, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Yeah.
I wonder what faction should be part of, like if there's like some swampy.
Well, there's this troll-centric one they already brought up. That was one of the armies.
Oh yeah, she's a troll-centric. Yeah.
The question is, can you take her in a normal Orc Goblin? Well, hang on, you can't. I don't think she's not in the.
Unless she's
not in the Ravening Hordes, is she?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No, don't think so either.
No, I don't think so.
They said, it's down here further. The Arcane Journal it comes with 2 special characters, so I don't know if she is one or they're going to be, bringing back, because I don't think we've seen any special characters.
2 isn't a lot, really, is it?
Yeah. No, it's not. Is what it
As
is.
in the models for them.
Yeah, I can't remember. We'll keep scrolling down. We'll see if we recognise any.
I don't know. I
always
even
thought
for
they
the
brought
Orc
Azag, Slaughterer's figure back, but as we said, he's not alive in that timeline, I guess.
Oh, okay, yeah, that is true. Because the timeline's quite, finite.
In terms of like Wyvern figures, I mean, I've got one of them, so I wouldn't get one, but I mean, it's classic. That's probably one of the better ones, I think, that were released. But these are awesome. Again, these are ones I'd always wanted to get, but now I'm definitely this thing. I'm gonna have to order all these, aren't I?
It looks like in the book, like with the spells, they are like the signature spells are just called lore of whatever. So yeah, I think you're right. It will just be like 3 signature spells or something like that, I reckon.
Yeah.
And well, hopefully they synergize really well with the troll stuff. Either I don't know, getting rid of stupidity or who knows, increasing their regen down a 3-up. That'd be awesome. I don't know. Who knows?
3-up
making them immune to flammable.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Multi wounds, D3. That's what you need. You need some
an extra
killing.
Was it extra vomit? Not the normal vomit. Yeah.
Monster killing.
Monster
killing vomit.
Troll vomit. But these are they're all. I mean, these were classic Forge World ones, and so much detail and stuff in them. So I think they're they're pretty good and very orky and goblin-y. I love the comment. Oh, which one? This one.
Oh, with the troll slayer.
Yeah.
Just hanging off.
Yeah.
Missing his
funny.
I
hadn't seen that.
Body. Probably still alive there.
I actually don't have a great BSB, so this guy would really be good. And I'd always wanted this Night Goblin BSB. He looks cool. I love how they describe this guy. Did you read that? This shaman here.
The shaman. How do they describe him?
And a Night Goblin shaman who's having a very good time or a very bad one.
I had not seen that. Funny.
Yeah. I just realised we're doing there's a lot of people who listen to our podcast. So sorry, guys. We are describing the. We have to keep remembering that. Just these Forge World Night Goblin releases with the guy on the armoured cave squig. I almost can't remember when these came out, but was this almost like the first Night Goblin riding a cave squig, and then the other one came out? I can't remember the time frame, but I feel like these were quite sort of oldish, but I don't know if they
around for a while.
Dated that original one or not. I'm not sure. So it's just so good that they're coming back. And then here it is. You get they are bringing back the Orc boys mob separate, which is the same one that you get in the the battalion box. You can make the double-handed weapons or sword and board and stuff. But then they're bringing back that leader kit too, which had the couple of different head options for a BSB on foot. Or I guess you can switch.
So many of those getting around.
Or the war ball, the guy on the war ball. So I never got those guys. I don't know if I would get them, given I'd try to get the Forge World ones. But here's what it is. Heaps of options though, so that's cool.
There is.
And then they're bringing back the classic, what was his original name? The shaman with the big knobbly stick. Can't remember. That's a classic one. They even link here to, because I think this was back in the, I haven't been to this link, but I'm assuming it's
click it. I was interested to see where the link went.
The, you know how they did last year, they were doing the 40 years of Warhammer or whatever? Yes, it is that one. Yeah. So it's this classic. They basically said that this figure defined the future of the look of the orcs, just with his big jaw and stuff. Which makes sense. These are coming back in metal, and then ironically, I mean, this is all for the Oldhammer guys. These are the original orc biggins. So I mean, just look at them. There's no way. Like the orc boys are bigger than the biggins here, just because these guys are so old.
They've got that gremlin face, like the movie Gremlins, just like 100%.
Yeah, so but if there's plenty of Oldhammer people who playing, 4th, 3rd, 4th, 5th edition. Who've probably been spending so much money to buy these ones, and now they're going to be able to buy them. They even come apparently with the paper banners. So
I was wondering about that. It comes with a paper banner.
So if you're collecting an Oldhammer army, I mean, it's pretty cool that you're going to be able to get access to them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, slightly cheaper technically, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Not having to get someone's crappy paint job and strip it off and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, or pay outrageous money for a relatively new one off eBay.
Yeah. And then heaps of these classic goblins, which are mostly metal, but I think the plastic up here refers to the wolf. And I think you'll get a lot of people buying a bunch of these. So like the nasty skulkers. These are the Nikon big bosses, sorry, that I'm first showing.
Yeah, those are the big bosses. Yeah.
And I don't have any of them. I've just got the Battle for Skull Pass ones, I think, and they look almost like the normal goblins. So I'd be up for buying some of these.
There's some rarer ones in that. I'm pretty sure the goblin boss standing on the dwarf head. I haven't seen him before. I've seen the other three, plenty of them.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy with the big two-handed axe thing, he's pretty popular. I've seen him around a bit.
Yeah.
But I don't remember this guy with standing on the dwarf head. So, and I don't know. I'm thinking they'd be quite affordable because they'd be pretty small. Metal. I don't know. I wonder what they'll end up being. Because if we've seen...
Yeah.
We haven't really seen any like... Because I'm guessing they all come in one pack, do you think? Or do you end up having to buy each one separate?
You think they come all together?
I don't know. It probably said it and I didn't read it.
I suspect.
Does it say?
Does it say? It'll be down below, wouldn't it?
7 classic packs of goblins. Yeah. So I reckon that'd be pretty affordable.
Like what, 50 or 60?
What's happened there? The shamans. No, these are goblin. They've goblin big bosses, just normal goblins. And a goblin shaman. I have seen these guys, but I haven't seen them for so long.
Yeah.
These guys I have not seen, right? Like they're goblin. I mean, I have seen them in white dwarfs, but I don't think I've really seen them in the flesh, so to speak.
No.
They're basically goblin wolf rider bosses. Again, classic if you want the classic ones. I mean, the problem with wolf riders in this version, as you guys would know, I think they're just not takeable at the moment. So it'd be interesting to see how these go. Or not. And then you got the nasty skulkers. So I guess if you are taking goblin and if you've bought the potato box, you probably want to grab a set of these guys for their killing blow abilities, whatever they've got these days. Yeah. Oh, and the Night Goblin Shaman, which you probably missed, but 3 of them. Which, if you haven't got Shamans, you want to be buying these guys because Orcs are, they're the guys who, I think they can run. I don't know how many level 4s you can run, They can fit so many level 4 Shamans in the list. So you probably, you'll probably find them going up the shelves.
Yeah.
And then the Goblin Wolf Chariot, which was always so hard to get. So
it is, 100%.
Be interesting potentially to get, although again, probably get better printed ones these days, but if you're after the classic one, it's pretty cool. I love how it's like metal, but it's got plastic wolves and plastic wheels, something like that. They even describe it somewhere.
It's very specific. And some paper banners.
The chariot has plastic wheels.
But it's always been like that. It was a metal chariot with plastic wolves and plastic wheels.
Don't you reckon this reeks a little bit though? Like
nothing's changed.
This is like a 17-year-old intern doesn't know anything, and someone puts them all on the table and says, "Oh, you need to just tell people what they've got." So they're like picking up, okay, this is plastic, this is metal, and I have to write it in the article because it's like I don't know. It's just weird. I think the people. Just say it returns in metal. I think everyone understands that the wolves were metal, so you're not going to do them in metal, Anyway, it's funny. And then these orcs, I've got ogres, the classic orc and goblin gubbins in metal.
They're cool.
I've got this guy over on the right with his double-handed, whatever it was. But yeah, I just randomly bought that when I was about 14 or whatever. But yeah, the rest of them are interesting. Again, it's the ogres. I can't the ogres. No, they are in the Orc and Goblin list now, aren't they? Set of normal ones. I think in the Ravening Hordes when we went through it, wasn't it, Andrew? Do you remember?
Sure. Yeah.
I'm assuming they might have some special ones in the Arcane Journal, if not. But yeah, the question is, would you get these guys, or would you end up just using the normal ogres? I don't know. For the look of these, they look cool, but
yeah. The problem is like when you're gonna have, if you've got a newer army, that they might look a little bit dated, I suppose.
Yeah. But like if you're putting together an old like Dogs of War army, or you're staying with 6th and you're doing some stuff. I mean, it's pretty cool that they're bringing some of these ones back. So
100%.
Yeah. And then, I mean, just more, and then more orcs. So these like, I think these are metal. The old stone
trolls.
Old stone trolls. They're like older than the other ones that you used to get. The ones they always painting blue. These are like older again.
They don't look like.
I don't think I've seen those before.
Yeah.
They're not super dated. Like they look old, but they're not bad.
Don't you reckon they look a little bit Lord of the Ringsy trolly?
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little bit. But did they come out before the movie was made, though? Like,
oh yeah, I
when you're talking about,
that's right.
Are you saying that Lord of the Rings actually drew inspiration from these sculpts?
Kind of right, probably. I don't know. The problem I have, especially if you're trying to get into this, is the AOS trolls just look so good. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? And these are only 2 sculpts. Like if you want to go up.
Well, that's the problem, when you got multiples, and probably money-wise, it'd just be so much cheaper getting there. But they look so different, the new Age of Sigmar trolls. Like they look completely like it's a different style, like completely different style of troll.
Yeah. You get 4 different snotling bases. I only ever had 2 of these, and I ended up using most of them for like a converted snotling pump wagon I made out of a boar chariot. So I don't actually have any like snotling bases, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I would, I don't know, I'd potentially get these guys for that. They're so fun. There's like a little fanatic guy. There should be a guy somewhere who's pissed. And then there was a guy chucking a brown eye. I don't know if he's in there. Maybe they got rid of him, but it's pretty funny. Like some of the little guys. It looks like they don't have that guy, which sucks.
Oh, what? They got rid of him?
He might be at the back, and then
maybe he's hidden at the back. Yeah.
That was so funny.
Hopefully.
So it's almost like worth getting them just for the fun of it. That guy's is he giving the finger? I think one of them's giving the finger. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I remember seeing that little guy with the finger,
Yeah. And then, the classic snotling pump wagon. Again, it's getting so old. I mean, I'd buy the Blood Bowl team and just take the 2 out of there, That's what everyone tends to do. But, hey, again, if you're after putting together an old hammer, they're bloody awesome. And then, just the war machines. I mean, the catapult and the doom diver and the goblin spitter or whatever it was called, just the bolt thrower.
Yep.
They're all coming out. So, it's funny, for a second there I thought they would never bring back the 4th edition Goblin Doom Diver, would they? The little dude with just the slingshot.
Yeah, a little slingshot.
That would have been funny. But, and then we get on to some really cool stuff, which is the giant and bone grinder giant. So,
oh my god, this thing's massive, isn't it?
Yeah. So the guy, firstly, the normal guy. I mean, I've seen him before, but he was originally metal, I believe, and so they reforged. Have they? Yeah, fully made metal, 2 different heads. So he's just sort of a normal giant before they brought that cool plastic one out. But then Forge World obviously did this bone grinder giant, which, like I was saying to you guys before the show, turned on. I probably have seen this guy, but I don't recall him at all. And then I was never in it when he was probably out at Forge World. So for me, it's like, hey, this is a new figure. It's
for me too.
Haven't, and I don't even know if I've ever. Well, I can't remember seeing one in the flesh ever. So
nah, you've got the other option now with the giants in Age of Sigmar, and they're pretty cool. Some of those giant models as well.
But this guy stacks up against them, don't you reckon, in terms of the size?
Oh, size-wise, yeah, but just
almost. Maybe not as thick.
I don't know. He looks a bit. I don't know what you think looks-wise, but yeah.
I don't mind him, but you like the AOS ones. But I mean, the AOS one is awesome. Those Behemoth, whatever they're called.
So some of them, yeah.
Son of Behemoth. What's it called? Sons of Behemoth. But how do you say the AOS?
Behemoth is it?
It's something slightly different, I think.
He reminds me a little bit of the I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but there's an anime called Attack on Titans.
Oh God, yeah, I got a shirt.
Got around
My
eating
girls are
everyone.
into that. He
Nice.
does too. He looks exactly.
Doesn't he look like them?
Absolutely. I'm gonna have to get him now. Yeah, he does too. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
How tall would he be on the back? Like, would he be a little bit easy to knock over? Do you think? Like, he looks more than twice as high as the other giant. Like, that is going to be massive.
And is that base? Like, the giants are on
top.
50. This would be a 50 by 50 square. Well, this wouldn't be. This would be a giant base too. Just the perspective, I would imagine.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, I think that's a.
But the giants are on. What are they on? 50 by 100s?
Yeah, the guy on the left zoomed in for sure. The classic compared to
so this other one, the big one, the bone rip is probably on a 50 by 100.
What?
Still not
So
like
it's
60.
even bigger. So it's not even
they're big. They're really big. I see. There was one at Canton.
He's going to be if he's all fine car like forge wood resin.
Probably more than the
like
troll hag by the sound of it.
Yeah, but do you think is that 200 plus, 300 plus Australian, or is it?
Oh my God!
Good chance.
Those are crazy numbers.
Oh God. Anyway, so that's cool.
It could be, it could be about $200 or $300. Oh my God!
Yeah. And they don't really have any other big, like they don't really have in this release. There's nothing else up in that price range, at least that we've seen yet. You know what I mean? Like there's no big new massive dragon or anything. So who knows? Then we got the Arcane Journal coming out, which is going to be pretty much the same. But yeah, the two armies of infamy. I mean, we know there's the troll one, but I don't know if we've been given the other sort of army of infamy by the sound of it yet. Not that I've seen. New spell lore. I bet you that's just the troll hag one. Then I would imagine. Additional units, troll hags, bone grinder giants, badland ogre bulls. I guess the question is, so do you guys think, because obviously as the Arcane Journals come out, they're going to end up adding new stuff, which is cool because they've done this now. The question is, like with the magic items in those Arcane Journals, do you think they will retrofit some of them into the grand armies, or it will always only be the armies of infamy that have the extra units?
What do you mean? As in,
like if they bring
redo the grand composition so that you could put those new,
because like some of them come with new magic items and you can just add them, like they say on it whether or not you can have it if it's only for the armies of infamy or not. At least the does for the magic items. But I'm wondering if they're going to start adding the ability to go, hey, well, you don't need to take the Army of Infamy. You can, this is a new unit or whatever it is, and you can actually add it in. It's, it's classed as this or something. In the
could do. Although I wonder if they would more likely to do that if they would introduce other types of books other than Arcane Journals one day. Like if they did do a proper campaign book or something. Maybe that would be one way to introduce new units. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you think they might?
The Arcane Journals, if it takes another 2.5 years or whatever to even get to the last one, it's a long time where that grand army, like the current troop, well, most of the units have all been decided for that army. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But it'd be nice if occasionally you can. I mean, obviously the armies of infamy are fun, but it's also nice to be able to sometimes take a, generic army, but still get access to some new stuff,
Well, I wonder if they're going to be able to just allow allies more, have more events and things like that.
I guess that's up to the community. Yeah, I guess we just need to decide to do it or not. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're just not allowing them at the moment because there's only a couple of Arcane Journals. So I don't know if it's gonna. I don't know. It's just. I think if you took allies from your own race, or to me that would seem sort of fairish. But maybe it is just a power thing where it's just allows too much,
shenanigans. But I mean, are you ever going to balance it all anyway? At some point, you just sort of enjoy yourself and just let it go. Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit,
And they've
sort of
packed
do more
in rules that impede allied contingents and stuff anyway in terms of using leadership class and that type of thing.
And
so
you got to actually have a full army. It's got to be.
Yeah, like I feel like those restrictions they've put in are really quite reasonable.
Yeah.
You're not just sticking in a tree man into a Bretonian list or something.
No.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Obviously, the dice and the cards. These dice don't excite me. I don't know. They don't look orcish enough for me. I don't know what it is. You know, like
Jade. Yeah,
I'm hearing a lot of disappointment. Oh,
I know it has not hit me. I mean, some of these figures like the giant and stuff, but overall, I to me, it's a little bit of a swing and a miss in terms of what they could have done with the orcs. I reckon, but it is what it is.
Yeah. What color would you prefer them? Is it the pips? Is it the red pips? That's
probably the red. I don't know actually. When you've said the jade, like even the jade.
It's too Christmassy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's that. It just looks too. It looks too nice to be an orc dice.
Yeah, it does.
In the sense, you know what I mean?
Like a paler green, maybe would have worked. Maybe yellow for the pips or something, you know.
Or even though, like the Tomb King dice are so good.
Looks
they
more
just
wood
look
elf.
Bone. They could have gone more of a rock type, maybe like a greeny or just a dusty. So it looks, because orcs are just using whatever hacked together stuff. I don't know. But yeah, it is what it is. But
I think they just went for is that like an orc skin type color, and then like they've gone for red because that's a common, color of the banners and stuff.
It's quite marbly.
That's what they're doing, isn't it?
It's not even a orc skin color, really. Is it?
No, I guess not. No,
amethysty. Unless it just looks like this in the picture. I don't know.
Because the dwarf was the dwarf one's I think just a stone, isn't it? It's the same sort of.
I can't remember if it's stone or more silver. Oh no, the Brett one's silver. Hey.
Dwarf.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Tomb King one I'm really impressed with. I don't know what it is. It's matte and looks sort of bony, you know what I mean? Like they look pretty good and they're easy to read. Whereas some of these, I reckon this is quite hard to read. When red and green together is always, especially if you're colorblind, you're not going to be colorblind. You're rolling on this. Well, like red and green colorblind, I guess.
Yeah, red and green colorblind, which is quite common in men, which unfortunately are the prevailing sex that play this game.
Yeah, true.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, easiest to read is
it's a stone. It's stone with gold.
Oh, is it? Yeah,
It's like a grey stone with gold.
Yeah.
Which is probably more fitting than
Anyway, well, no, look, I'm still. Obviously, there's enough. To be honest, I'm a little bit concerned how much of just the stuff I would get because of things like the giant and all that. It's probably more than what I've spent on the Tomb Kings, just because I'm a bit scared of how
much it's actually going to cost.
Things are going to cost.
Yeah, per gram that Forge World resin. Oh boy.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess we'll find out. But that looks like it at the moment. But no Black Orcs.
No Ball Boys.
No Ball Boys, which we did see in their original article, I think. Those two, and obviously none of the Night Goblins. But I wasn't expecting them to do that, given the Night Goblins are all currently in AOS, the same figures, so I doubt they would have released them. But in terms of the, and I know this doesn't mean anything, but in terms of what seems to be good at the moment is Black Orcs and Night Goblins, and Ball Boys are good, and so it's like none of that's in there, which is kind of funny. Black Orcs, the Black Orcs will be back because they already said that. It's just not in this initial wave, I guess.
Yeah, it seems a bit weird. Like, they're like, oh, you won't be using the Age of Sigmar models, but it seems like you are for Old World. If you get me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they were kind of like saying, oh, they're going to be two separate, but it seems like you kind of have to supplement them to a certain degree.
Well, it's so I mean, it's so funny that it's ironic that the AOS ones are the easy ones to come by, even that's sold out. But like the legacy armies and stuff, they're all the easier ones to actually play because they've got figures.
Yeah, it's so ironic. I must admit, this is actually quite a big release as well. Like I know I miss a few things, but it's a very diverse and large army list with lots of different little elements. Like if you think about how many different things the Bretts or even the Tomb Kings had, like this is actually
and the Orcs are basically
twice as many different, twice as many different type of boxes and releases that the Bretts needed.
Yeah. Especially characters. There's so many characters.
Look at these characters. So many.
In terms of what you'll see at a shop, though, like a friendly local gaming store, you're not going to see anything. You're going to see this box set.
Yeah, you'll see the
orcs by themselves, and then hopefully, and then this one maybe like the plastic orc boss and BSB because that's plastic, so you might see that. And I'm assuming obviously the black orcs when they come out and the ball boys. But I don't know if you'll see anything else. Like the River Trolls are still for sale in AOS, so I think you can still buy them in shops. I mean, like if you're trying to buy this off your local, Gap Games or whatever, there's not really a lot in this release. There's probably 3 units. The rest of it's going to be ordered through Games Workshop. Yeah.
Was the classic orcs a limited release, and the classic?
In this, you mean, or
yeah, in this one, like a made to order type thing.
Yeah, like it just to me it seems a bit weird. Like you kind of, like just for me, why would you bring back these really old school classic models mixed with like a 6th edition main box set with sort of these? I don't know what edition.
4th or 5th ed. Yeah, or they 3rd.
Well, yeah, 3rd or 4th maybe.
Yeah. It just looks like a made to order type thing, doesn't it? I agree. Like
it's just a bit weird. Like
it's a very old hammery feel. Those ones.
Like these orcs or just the whole?
No, the metal, the old ones.
He's talking about the big ones.
Ah, the big ones. God, yeah, that's just a nostalgia play. I think you're never going to use them.
Yeah, but are they part of the regular range? That's what is like surprising.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it just
maybe. I don't know. Someone said something. There was a made for order. Like a lot of these are just not. Is it made for order where it's limited edition? Like you just do it and then it's.
Yeah, for a week. It's available for a week, and then they might recycle it again if a year later or something. But
I don't think they actually say that on here at all.
I don't think any of these are made to order.
Yeah, so I think
they're all back in the range.
You just
order range again,
and it might be out of stock for a bit, and you've got to say notify me. But I don't think any of these are actually made for order. Technically, they're just ordered through the UK.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they're just in the range, which is surprising because there's other stuff on there that they've also mentioned, like that I thought we might see a preview of, like because the Marauder Giant was one that I was,
oh yeah,
the good old giant. Like it's like where's that? But I feel like that could be a made to order. But I feel like that would have been more popular than the old Biggins, like
yeah, no, totally.
It's a very popular model.
It makes me think that if we don't see, like if they do decide just to do an army per every quarter, they could easily stretch out this orc one for like 3 or 4 drops, with different stuff over a quarter. Which
do more drops of the range of like made to order, you mean, or of like?
Well, made to order, but plus plastics, because it's just black orcs. But I mean, when you got that Marauder Giant, you've got there's heaps, just different trolls. Those other stone trolls. I think they did show them before. Like the old, the normal metal ones.
It's interesting your point about the limited stuff that will be through third-party retailers, though. Like it really is 90% of it's direct GW only.
And the frustrating thing with that, which is a little disappointing, is it's not going to help. Obviously it's not. And it never was supposed to be this anyway, but like it's not going to grow the game because you can't go into a store and just see, what's all this? Like, there's it's always going to be just a little corner of a games shop because they can't really make money off Orc battalion boxes. I mean, if he's going to be buying them,
So the shops won't be promoting it. Yeah.
The battalion box is the least appealing part of this release. That's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
Bit of a problem. Like they could have at least put some of those hero characters in the battalion box or something just to make it a bit more interesting,
Oh yeah.
Some of those metal guys or even the plastic orc kit that you're talking about there.
War boys.
Exactly.
That'd be classic. Have war boys, Get rid of the goblin spearmen maybe and all the archers or one of the two.
Yeah, I mean
just something.
Yeah, it just seems like, I don't know. I can't imagine, like, at least from hearing what people are playing and what they're doing, I don't think anyone's taken, unless it's theme, you're not really taking a lot of goblins, taking night goblins.
Did they not put the night goblins in because you can get them through the AOS range.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, totally.
That's what I'm saying. Like I thought they were
ridiculous.
saying that they weren't going to, like it was just like a clear divide, and it's like everything in the old world was going to be made specifically for the old world, and we're not using models from Age of Sigmar. I'm pretty sure that was said quite a few times, but it seems like it's not how it's
there
playing
isn't.
out.
Yeah, well, I mean, there isn't that clear cut. There's always that mix at the moment, but over time, I mean, I guess we'll see this with, I don't know, like, will we see Skaven come at some point and then they release all the old Skaven stuff to Old World and all? Because, AOS has all new stuff. I don't know. It's bizarre.
Yeah, well, a lot of that Cities of Sigmar stuff, I'm not too up to date with that, but a lot of that stuff's going to be, your elves and your dwarves. That's all still in there. So,
well, they cut a lot. Well, only some of the new, like they got rid of.
I know
a lot of dwarf stuff.
Cut some.
I mean, it was only the new dwarf stuff they kept mostly, wasn't it?
Right.
So
I'm not too up to. Yeah, I knew they were looking at culling it. I don't know if they have culled the entire range, but.
Yeah. Oh, they haven't, because they've got, the newer, the Ironbreaker molds and stuff, but you can't go get like Dwarf Warriors, for example. They're
yeah.
Yeah, and even some of like the Dark Elves stuff has just been temporarily unavailable for months on end, like the cold one and stuff. You just can't buy them anymore. They just don't restock them. They're on there, but they're just like, no,
unavailable.
We're not selling them. They're not unavailable.
Yeah. And actually, like, when you think about, like, with the orcs, like, all the squigs as well, like, they've got all these new squigs. Would they re-release old squigs? I mean, they sort of did with some of the trolls here, but... Or do they just go, we're not even touching squigs because there's so many available in the old world, like the squig poppers and squigs. Those
I was in the AOS range,
Yeah. I don't know. It feels like they should just come up with a better way to dual sell some of these kits,
They should be embracing it really, rather than trying to divide it. It's
I guess you buy it anyway.
So
I mean, people are going to buy the Night Goblin boxes. That's why they're out of stock. You can't get them. So
are they?
Yeah.
People are going to do it. There's no point trying to make these ridiculous distinctions.
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. Anyway, that was the they go up pre-order. Well, I guess I didn't see anything in that article as such. I did see if you go right to the bottom of the article, I think it does have 4 different availabilities for different combinations of countries. Like, delayed in Japan. This is delayed in Japan and Australia. This is delayed in the US, Japan and Australia. This is delayed it's just obviously
Classic.
It's a bit sad, but it is what it is. But hopefully Saturday we can start putting some orders in. We'll see how we go. Okay, moving on then. I might hand over to someone to do hobby time. What did you guys get up to?
Ooh.
I did a couple of things. I mean, I did spend one day at Uprising, but I'll go through that in a bit. Mainly it was mainly working on slow grow type stuff for my Calder Slannesh, I suppose. So I finished off the cold one night I was painting off the other day, and I did do one test model for the Furies as well. I haven't taken a photo of that, but I'll probably put something up at some stage. I'm hoping to paint the rest of them in the next couple of days. And then also just the last couple of days I've been fiddling around trying to get the right looking model as my anointed guy. There's a Lord level guy you can take in Calder Slannesh, which is like a demon sort of influenced Dreadlord essentially. Right. Who could be level 2 caster, and he's got it's close to Chaos Lord stats basically. He's quite nasty. And you can take him on foot or with on a Steed of Slannesh, and a lot of people use the old Slannesh model on foot, with a guy with the massive shoulder pads and the big top knot and that type of thing. Because I have a scan of him, and I also have a scan of the Cold One Rider guys, I've actually been trying to sort of combine it a little bit so that they looks a little bit more elven, basically. Yeah. So trying to add, because the Cold One Knights have the riders, the armor, they've got a nice chunky piece of armor that goes around their necks almost. So I've been trying to add that into the armor, and also have an elven head like helmet that sort of combines with the big sort of crest of hair, I suppose that it's got. Like he's got a big, almost like a Roman style crest thing at the back.
Oh, yeah.
So sort of added the elven head to that. So yeah, I've started to print. I've been sort of working it out and printing it, and hopefully I'll start to put together.
Do you like just join it
sort
up
of,
in Blender?
well,
Or is it?
Yeah, a little bit in Blender or just in To-Do Box. Just sometimes you can just stick the two STLs right next to each other in the slicer and just slice it.
Just
to get the right
like
angle.
you're doing it with a physical
Very
figure,
basic.
you're just sticking it together.
Yeah, almost,
Okay.
but just through each other. So that they can sort of be overlapping slightly. But yeah, sometimes I'll export that as an STL together and then put that into Blender to smooth things. I suppose I'm starting to learn a little bit how to do that. I mean, it's a whole other thing, really. I barely know how to use Blender. But I'm also learning I can use another program, Mesh Mixer, to actually do the cuts, because it's easy to do cuts in different programs. It's all very not very user friendly. So some programs are better for doing things than others. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. So I have printed it off, and it's sort of curing at the moment. I haven't really put them together or anything like that. But the reason I got inspired to get this running is because I feel like next month slow grow, I think I might try like a noble on a cedar Slannesh.
Right.
So I'm gonna I'm starting to work on this anointed guy so I can just run him as a noble for the 1400 points. Because I think it'll be fun, because the cedar Slannesh is like 20-inch march move. It's super fast mobile thing. So I'm sort of excited to see how he plays, even just on a regular noble. Just
running solo, or are you going to run in a unit?
No, just running solo, I think.
Cool.
We'll see.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I think he's on a 50 by 50 mil base, so I think in 6 Ed, I think it's a bit funky if you're trying to put him in a unit. I think I can't remember.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, I think the intention is to have him super fast, because I also have the mounted demonets that are also 20-inch moves. So, but they keep getting zapped off in the first couple of turns.
Right.
Oh yeah.
So I feel like if I have more than one zippy unit,
you don't have that. How many do you have in? Because it's only a small army at the moment, hey, as well. So how many do you have mounted demonets?
Oh, just one unit of 5.
Yeah.
And they just keep getting magic missiled off in the first turn.
Small unit.
Like, damn it. 150 point unit gone. Yeah. So I've got the Furies coming, and then so soon it's just going to be like super fast things zipping all over the board. Like you're just gonna disintegrate if they get hit. But yeah.
Ultimate glass cannon. Yeah. Nice.
Cool, and obviously, you played Uprising, which we'll talk about in a minute. So yeah, cool. Did you do anything, Andrew? Because we played, but I know you were.
Yeah, I was just prepping for that and just doing the tail end of the gyrocopters and the gyrobombers. So yeah, I just did a little bit of paint work, patchwork, and just as you saw the bombs, I had to put onto my gun haulers, whatever they are. Yeah. The Age of Sigmar models.
The AOS ones. Yeah.
So it was just that, and then just finished the basing. So yeah, that was about it.
Yeah.
What'd you get up to?
Well, I can't remember if. No, I did finish that for the game. I think I finished the Tomb Guard rebasing and decorations and stuff. So they were all done. It was just the character models now need finishing. So that's at least done. Though it's annoying, like I said, and it came up in the game, like it wasn't until after I'd rebased the skeleton archers, and some of them are on 25 by 50s, that I'm like, damn it, they should just all be individual, because a lot they went with skirmishing archers. So that was a bit annoying. But I don't think I want to rebase them again. So I've still got another 20 archers to go. And I was debating as just leaving them on 20s, because if I ever play 6th again, and just paint 20 more or something, I don't know, because I've got enough skellies here that I haven't actually touched. So I'm like, do I just paint? Because they don't take long, and put all them on 20s. I don't know. I'll just see how it go. Just
it's worth
how
consideration.
It is to rebase, like it's and you always break something, or So I don't know. I might just do that with the Skelly Archers because they don't. I'd probably be done in. It'd take me a day to put them together, and then another day on a weekend. One day you probably paint most of them. So
yeah.
But I did do this. This is where
Forget the luxury of skeletons.
Yeah, that's right.
Crack out a unit in a day.
Yeah. I did get the dragons Howder done mostly on the weekend. So he's getting closer to being ready. I mean, I'm not 100% happy with this stony type look. Oh, hang on, it's not coming up for you guys yet. No. But yeah, just got that glued on now and mostly done. It probably needs a little bit more work, but it's good enough now. And did a little. Oh, actually, this picture is pre-highlighting of the little claws and stuff, but I've highlighted them a bit.
Nice.
I was trying to zoom in there, but it wasn't working. Is that a zoom? Yeah. So he's getting closer. I just need to actually do the guy now, and I got a delivery notice for my other dragon, so I will have a leech on a dragon too. So I guess I'll have to repaint another one soon. But I don't know. Am I ever? We'll see if I need that other dragon straight away or not. Probably not, because I'll probably do some. I like you can see him in the background. I like the flying around level 4 on his little Cloak of Dunes.
It's a tough nut, that guy.
So those two in the background there, that's probably what I'll paint next, like the Herald and this guy, get them done.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, then I've got to get the Necrosphinx finished because it's been undercoated but not actually painted. Not that he's delivered much, but it's more me than anything. But anyway, no, it's getting there. It feels like it's almost, I've got a proper old world army once these are done in terms of basing and painted and stuff, because I'm feeling a bit dirty battle reporting these things with half the stuff like not painted and half hacked together. Like I wasn't used to that with the 6th and 8th edition games. By the end of it, they were all painted, at least my ones that I was playing. But yeah, it's been a bit of a mission getting these old world ones going. So
it's looking good. Yeah.
Did you paint an orc as well?
Yeah, I did another orc. I did a video on painting an orc. What are they called?
A little video?
Yeah,
it's up on YouTube if anyone wants to use it. Because I did that, it was going to be for the slow grow. Because you can do the skirmishing orc Araboys, and I thought that's for core, having like a unit of 10 of them just hanging around. And even though they're not going to be anything,
always useful.
But yeah, just 360 line of sight and harder to kill them. So, and I just, I sprayed a bunch, and then, ages ago, like a month or so ago, I just did a test one, and it was so quick to paint because it's all contrast paint. So I did another video today just painting one because I thought that's timely for the... Actually, when I did it, I thought the orc boys in that battalion box can be done as archers, but they're not. They're different kit. So I think they're a different kit. So I don't even know if you're going to be able to get orc archers, if they're going to release any. I don't know. I haven't seen any.
Yeah.
Unless they were in that original article. I can't remember.
Yeah, and I mean, the plastic box is not multi-kit, is it? Is that what you mean? Like, is that a whole different kit for Araboys?
Yeah, it must be a different one for Araboys. I can't remember. I never had a kit. I bought like a bunch of second-hand ones, so I don't really know where they came from in terms of which kits and which box sets. So, yeah, I don't know. Whoever's listening to this, let us know how you get the Orc Araboys, because
they came out in the
6th edition box, was it?
With Empire.
Yeah.
And they were just the monopose. There was like 4 different sculpts.
Yeah, so that's probably the ones I've got, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So they're probably not going to release those ones, because they wouldn't release the Empire 6th edition dudes. They'd bring out the 8th edition ones, I'd imagine. Or 7th, they were.
Because I think the only other Orc Archers that came out were bloody the 8th edition with ones. The Savage Orcs,
Yeah.
So it's kind of nothing.
So maybe that's why that's mainly in the book as well, I guess, because you could do them as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, no, I want to get the Orc one up playable too, because it's like that book. Obviously, it's coming out, but it's a very playable army. There's so much. I mean, they all are, but there's so much to play with the Orcs, like in terms of different builds and stuff. So they're probably going to the 2 ones that I'll push hard on. And obviously I'm with the Tomb Kings, that and the Orcs. So yeah. Anyway, cool. Well, do we want to cover the Uprising then?
Yeah.
Did you actually do any hobby, Andrew? Listening to us skipped ya.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah. No, he said he did his
a little bit. I glued some bombs on and finished the basing.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking.
It was pretty quick.
Before we do the Uprising, then there was one question on the YouTube thingo.
Oh yeah, from last week we had a couple of rules things. That's right.
Just one, I think. Yeah. From Will Labrador. Will Labrador? Like Labrador? Yeah. The question was random movement seems very powerful in my squig hoppers, giant squigs, and manglers. Am I right in thinking that I can wheel as much as I like during their movement, during their random movement, and get a flank or rear charge off regardless of where they began?
I'd say yes.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, wait, is he saying you can, like, the random movement itself is not just a straight line? Is that what he's saying? Like, you can randomly move in, like, an S?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's a random distance, but you can't do any maneuvers. You can only wheel. It says in there, I think. Yeah, and you can't declare charges and all that, but obviously if you hit, then you class as charging. So as far as I'm aware, and obviously correct us if we're wrong, then if you roll enough, you could do a big wheel and come around. I mean, where's my hand? I don't know. Come around and that doesn't work. Come around and hit someone in the rear, or at least the flank. That you may not have been in that arc initially because you're not declaring a charge. So.
No, yeah, right. So you can just like curl right around.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. That's hilarious.
And I think I've seen people do that on battle rules. I mean, I only played one Orc and Goblin game now, and that was, I did obviously charge with the random movers, but I think they're all pretty much in the front because just the way they were. I didn't do any shenanigans like that. I can't remember, Andrew, did I? There was no flank ones that weren't already in the flank, but just the way they were.
Yeah.
So that'd be quite different to 6 then, wouldn't it? Like, because previously I thought with random movement you just go straight. Is that right? In previous editions, or am I?
Yeah, I think.
Understanding that rule?
I can't. I don't think I've played random movements in 6. So, but yeah, in 8th, like with the manglers and stuff, you'd pivot and then you'd go.
You just go in a straight line.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But see, I've got this wrong before when I've got 8th confused with bloody 9th, and who knows? So, but I'm pretty sure at least manglers and stuff, you just point the direction you want, roll your 3d6, and you go straight ahead.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But hang on, that might not be right. That might not be, no, you did. Sorry. You know how 8th you had that weird thing with manglers where they had to stop 1 inch from impassables? So they used to bounce them off like the back of the board, which was an impassable as well. You know that, like if you if you wanted to keep your mangler near your wall, you just go backwards and hit the wall. Yeah, that's right.
Just go backwards and it wouldn't go anywhere.
Yeah. So that's a So they obviously were. They obviously were just going straight, basically. Whereas now you do the wheel. So, and I think what some people have been saying is, because it's a wheel, you technically could do like just keep going around a circle.
Oh yeah.
Like if you wanted to keep them still.
Yeah.
You can almost just go. I don't know how you can calculate that. Anyway.
That's so ridiculous.
That's funny.
This game.
It's all down to
you literally just
wheels. Just get rid of them. Yeah.
I bought it.
Oh, there you go.
Gun haul.
Nice.
So people know I actually do some hobby.
Yeah.
So basically it's
that's what you were talking about last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's the gun hauler. I've got I magnetized the little top thing, but I took it off.
I'm trying to put Andrew.
Yeah, all I can see is Domo. There we go.
That's it. I pressed the wrong button. There we go. Andrew's on solo here.
Nice.
I've probably got the worst camera for this, but yeah, you can see the bombs. He's got the bombs going, and then I was just throwing him on a I've just got like a dwarf statue, just like a
What was that from?
might be like Skyber or something maybe.
Oh,
I don't know.
Cool.
And then that back bit's just like off the gyro bomber, and then
Yeah.
obviously the gun hauler, and then
Nice.
just got some Ironbreaker shields on the side there. But yeah,
cool.
that's it. So I do hobby.
You're,
Not much, but I do
That's
it.
good.
you also did buy. I think everyone he's bought like you've bought a new Brio 500 camera as well.
I
And
did,
and Josh has bought one as well for his hobby stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to I'll try and Gomo's leaving us, behind. He's just doing so much, so I need to step up and start doing some of my own hobby time.
Yeah, that's all good. I didn't do a lot last week. We got a bit sidetracked with some stuff. I wanted to get a couple of videos out on that Death Star stuff too. So we're going to do that this week. We're going to do our battle report. Maybe try to get a new stream in, get someone over. We'll probably try get our next stream. We're probably going to get someone to come and play. So,
someone else.
Yeah, and that
but
way
not
we've
me,
got
unfortunately.
control. Yeah, unfortunately. Although you know what, I talked to Andrew about this, but I don't know if you're up for this, Josh. Is war hauling.
The online one. Maybe.
Not a big fan of that.
Not a huge fan of it.
Sounds so excited.
Yeah. After the game, which we might allude to or not, I'm a little bit annoyed with some of the things I did in that game in terms of bad play, and you're like, I need to play more, and so it's hard to. And then Warhol, you can save, I'm pretty sure. So I was saying to Andrew, if he's up for more games, and you don't mind saving a game, and doing two turns one night and close out the game and another night, even if it's 3 days later. I know it's not optimal, but it would mean I could probably get more games in.
Just roll more dice, even if it's virtually.
Yeah. It's a practical way of doing it. Yeah.
Someone's static now again. What happened there? I don't know. Didn't touch your phone, Josh?
Uh-oh.
No.
It's weird.
Wait, he's still here?
Static. Yeah, it's just get that crackle
static
again.
Yeah.
Not sure. Oh, that's all good. Well, actually, he needs to. He's doing the Uprising. So
he's the man of the hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it! Why is it doing that? When you talk, it's a little staticky.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's a loose cable or something.
Oh, you did bump.
That sounds a little bit better. Just then, maybe.
Is that better? Or?
Yeah, that's better.
Is that better? Is that fine?
Yeah, that's
okay.
That is awesome. Cool. Yeah, well, so we're going to try and get as much content as we can, but obviously, some weeks will be more than others. So, yeah. Actually, if we end up playing some Warhol stuff, Andrew, maybe that some of the patrons might want to come in at some point and as well if they've got other games. So I know someone asked on the Patreon, they got a tournament coming up. If anyone wants to play online, they would. And I said, I probably can as long as we can save the game, because I don't know. My view of it is I'm a slow player anyway at the moment, and I feel like I'd be slower online, but maybe that's not true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if did you guys used to play on UB? Was it quicker? I can't remember. Maybe it is quicker.
I've never really played it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've heard from the ETC guys, when you're used to it, it's a similar time.
Okay, right, yeah.
So I think they said that they try and knock them out in 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, you probably can if you actually sit down and do it. Well, I mean, when you come over, like, we obviously have a drink and beer, and that's what I like about Warhammer. I don't always want to be just
try and smash it out.
Yeah, that's for me. That's the main appeal.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's a hard balance.
It is. Yeah. Totally. Except if you are playing tournaments where you have to smash it out, which is what Josh was doing on the weekends. So do you want to go? Should we jump over to that then?
Yeah, I can go for it. I mean, smashing it out is, I don't know. To be honest, when I play these tournaments, it's my main outlet for playing.
Yeah.
I actually just really enjoy it as a a social thing. I don't feel like it's supposed to be that competitive. I was just like, I know I got 3 games today. I'll just enjoy these 3 games and kind of that kind of thing,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a really fun weekend. So it was a 1-dayer down in Ballarat in Victoria. So Ballarat being about hour and a half to 2 hours, sort of west of Melbourne. For those that aren't familiar with the place, and yeah, he held it last year, and it was a bigger tournament last year. It was still 6 head. So Ben held it again this year. He was like, no, I'm going to do 6 head. It's too soon. I don't know what's going on with the old world. I'm not going to swap over.
Yeah.
So we definitely had a smaller tournament this year. I think last year was like 40 people. I think it was, which is surprisingly big for a one day in a rural town. In Victoria. This year we got about half that. So I think we had like 24 sign up, and then it went down to, I think we had a few dropouts, and then we went down to 20, and then I think on the day we ended up with about 18, I think.
Did Richard go? I can't remember. Like at one of our patrons, Richard
Nelly. No.
Okay.
No, he wasn't there.
Right.
Yeah. It was in the guy you played the
I just can't remember.
No, he wasn't there.
He'll correct me on the comments, but I can't remember if he said he was going to try go, or maybe he said he couldn't make it. I can't remember something.
Is he?
I don't think he could make it.
He's on the border, I think. Oh, I probably shouldn't
say that. Yeah. That's
he lives down there somewhere in the great part of Australia.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. But yeah, it was one thing that was really fun, really, from the day was like, man, doing this podcast, like we get feedback and we get comments and engagement and stuff, but man, it's different when you're like at a place like that and you just get people coming up to you and go, oh, listen to the podcast and I really enjoy it while I'm painting and like, good. Yeah, I had quite a few people, and like a lot of them weren't even necessarily playing in the tournament. They were just people that had just wandered in. They were just in the local community, just to see Warhammer.
Oh,
not like non-Warhammers. They were people that played Warhammer.
Oh, okay.
They just weren't playing in the tournament.
That big that people running the local coffee shop listen to us. Sorry, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. No, we had a few guys, and like I had some conversations with a few. I think Rob was one who was like asking me all about 3D printing and stuff, and a similar conversation to you, Gobbo. Like he's like, I'm sort of tempted to take the dive, but I know there's a lot involved and stuff, and I'm like,
rather just find a friend who does it. Yeah,
doesn't have. I mean, it's. I was, what I told them was what I usually tell people, which is like, it sounds intimidating, but it's really, sometimes you just got to dive in and start doing it, and you learn quickly how to do it, and it's not actually that hard. Anyway, it was. Otherwise, I had a lot of fun. So I'll probably just go through. Do you want me to go through the games?
Yeah, well, it's probably 3 games. Yeah. So.
Are you going to go through your list? Game one?
Yes, actually. We need your list. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so my list, so it's a Brett list, 2250 points, so 2,250. And I tweaked it a little bit. So every tournament since, because I went to 3 last year, and this time I've added in a little bit of extra damsel going on. So I'll start from the top. So it was a Brett Lord. I've actually taken a leaf out of Angus's book to some extent. Didn't put him on a hippo, but I gave him the Silver Lance and the Blessed, which is the lance that auto hits in any combat round while he has got the blessing, which is very reliable. Man,
so
it was really
that's
good.
where you always whiff, isn't it? It's always on the friggin' hits. You're like
it's always on the hits.
1 and a 2, and I know.
Yeah. So it's 65 points. So it's not cheap, and it means I can't take a virtue otherwise, really, because there's so many points. Because I gave him the Enchanted Shield and the Cuirass of Fortune, which is a heavy armor that gives you re-rolling 1s to wound.
Right.
Okay.
Auto
the combo with that
1s to wound.
Yeah.
So if he's strength 6 2s to wound, then you're re-rolling the 1s. Yeah. It made him
even more reliable. Attacks. Just
4 attacks. Yeah. So essentially, I'm rolling 4 dice and then re-rolling the 1s, which actually came in handy more often than you think. I think there was one occasion where I rolled 3 1s, and then another one where I rolled 2 1s to wound, and both times I was like, that's fine. Yeah. I'll just re-roll those. I think at least one of them I rolled another 1, but it was it was good. So I was pretty I think that worked as a loadout more than my previous sort of attempts.
What was not to derail? What did you usually take before?
I would usually take the last one I ran, the Virtue of Confidence, which gives rerolls to hit and to wound in challenges, and a great weapon that ignored armor save, which could also be used as a hand weapon as well. Which was a hard one to balance because if I ran him with a great weapon, then he only had a 3-up save with the Blessing Ward, which made him kind of vulnerable, but also he was strength 6 with all those rerolls in challenges and ignoring armor saves, so he could really put out some hurt. But if I felt like going from a 1-up save to a 3-up save was a pretty big concession as well. And just being able to do the auto hits in anything rather than having to worry about always being in a challenge to get the maximum value out of it was just felt more versatile, because just being able to kill things in the unit was nice rather than just relying on overkill if things were in challenges. And then I had a BSB with a Virtual Duty, which gives a +1 combat res as long as the general's alive, and the Sword of Might for an extra strength, which I like that. I ran that in Castle Assault as well. It's a bit squishy because he only has a 3-up save. There's other builds where instead of Virtual Duty, you can take Rom of Greathelm, which gives him a 2-up rerollable, which is much tougher. But I don't think he died in combat. I think he took 1 wound during the tournament. He didn't die from combat strikes anyway. So I feel like the extra combat res is nice. And then I took 3 damsels, 3 level 2 level 2 damsels on life, all 3 of them. One of them had the Chalice of Merfleur, which you roll 1 dice at the start of magic phasing. It gives you an extra dispel dice. On a roll of a 1, you take a wound. And the other 2 didn't have any other magic items. That was all I took. So no dispel scrolls. I haven't taken any dispel scrolls. Never do. And they're all on life, which actually I felt, I was tempted to put 1 on beasts, but I ended up just putting all 3 on life. And I think it worked. I was quite happy with it. It actually gave me more options for spells and that type of thing. Whereas I found when I've previously ran 2 level 2s on life, I didn't quite have enough spells to force people to use the spell scrolls
because is that one of the laws where it's not everything's going to be applicable all the time? Is that what ended up happening?
Especially the Marsh spell, the number 1 spell. It's because it's only it's half move if you're within the water feature or 12 inches of the caster. That's kind of not great. And Rain Lord, the number 6 one, is -1 to hit or 4-up to shoot if you're a cannon, which can be really good against certain armies, but other armies it's completely useless. But the middle spells otherwise are actually really good. 2 to 5 are almost always useful in any battle. Especially the wood spell where you're damaging things in near forests or on hills. The other one, the Master of Stone, really really good. Then there's a direct damage spell, 24 range. That's not a magic missile. It just targets whatever you want, which again is great. And then there's the Howler Wind, which is the half movement in a bubble of 12 inches around the caster remains in play, and you also can't shoot strength 4 or less missiles into that bubble, which those are great spells, really good spells. So there's so much potential there. But the fact I could roll up more spells than I had and then put more pressure on the opponent's dispel meant that I was actually getting them off. Whereas when I run 2 level 2s, I just didn't have enough spells and enough power dice to really force things through. And
that's what I'm missing in Old World, to be honest, not to jump in, derail the 6 discussion, but the unlimited dispels is a bit meh. That's a bit frustrating. It's nice to be able to have a limit somewhere. And to be able to, the reverse of that with 6 and 8s, you can sort of force it out by just throwing a lot of shit, but make them think,
Yeah, it's interesting actually, isn't it? The differences in those ways. And then I had that was all my characters. So I had 5 characters, and that's because of Brett lists you can take an extra character. Then I had 7 Knights of the Realm, in which the Lord sat with one of the damsels. I had 7 Questing Knights, which is what the BSB sat in. The Questing Knight I gave the War Banner, so +1 to combat res, and then the BSBs giving you the virtual duty with another +1 in combat res. So that Questing Knight bus had a good amount of static combat res sitting in it. Then my third main bus was a unit of 8 Growl Knights. So those were the 3 main buses that I would use to, sort of medium-sized buses, either, supported by a fairly fighty character or extra static combat res, or the Growl Knights just being 2 attacks each, strength 6 with, they don't need support by characters. So those are my 3 main threat buses. And then I had 2 units of 6 Knights Errant that I usually would put out on the flank with commands. And then just finally for the peasant side of things, I would have a unit of 10 bowmen skirmishers.
Always bring them. Yep.
Always bring them. Two units of mounted yeomen and a treb.
Yeah.
Oh, and have some Pegasus Knights too, obviously. Almost forgot them, of course.
You just got your normal ones. You haven't finished the other ones, your new ones. Oh, they're on a slightly different base though, anyway, aren't they?
A slightly different base. Yeah. So just took the regular 40s.
Yeah.
On 40 mil bases, because that's the way they work. So so that's the list. So it's like the skeleton's very similar to my normal Brett tournament list, but I think some elements worked better than previously. So my 3 games. So first game was I've drawn against Travis Kennedy, and hilariously he's one of the guys from the Slow Grow.
Oh, okay.
I was like, why is he small?
He's not running the Slannesh list, though, was he? Was it?
He was. He was running the Slannesh.
Yeah, I thought I saw
Chaos
the
Warriors list.
I thought I saw the post with the initial matchups. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So funnily enough, we hadn't actually played each other in the context of a slow grow at all. I played one random pickup game with him like 6 months ago before the slow grow started, when the slow grow was being organized, and he signed up, and we're just like, oh, do you want to play a 2K game? So I just played, but he brought like a Wood Elf list with a Forest Dragon. He actually won that game too. He got in behind my lines, the Forest Dragon. I think I put in a report on this actually way back when.
Ages ago.
Yeah. And the Forest Dragon got into my flanks and kept hitting my buses, and I was like, man. So he sort of, it's funny, he must like dragons because he brought a Chaos Lord on a dragon.
Oh, yeah, that's the shots. So he's using the new Chaos, like the AOS one, eh?
Yeah, he's got the AOS one with the Slannesh Lord, like the older Slannesh Lord, sort of mounted on it. Yeah. Really cool. Like his army looked incredible.
Yeah.
It was so well painted. But yeah, so he ran a Chaos Lord. He's got an armor that forces the opponent to re-roll successful hits. Which is pretty good, but
when you
auto hitting that, not even a worry.
I'll auto hit again.
Yeah. But he's also got a 4-up board. So he's got Gaze of the Gods, which is a 4-up board. But if the model's fleeing inside of the Chaos Magic phase, the character is turned into a Chaos Spawn. So interesting risk there. But it's 30 points for a 4-up board save. Like on something like a dragon, where hopefully you're not running at the start of your move, and it's at the start of your magic phase. So even if you lose a combat, you still got a chance to rally.
You still got to fail.
You're pretty unlucky to be fleeing at the start of the magic phase. And he had the Sword of Might, so he was just strength 6 with on an enchanted shield. So he's got a 2-up save, 4-up ward, and he's sitting on a Chaos Dragon. 685 points, I think. So pretty scary. Then he had a level 2 Chaos Sorcerer with 2 Dispel Scrolls, a block of 16 Chaos Warriors, 2 units of Chaos Knights. These are all of Slannesh, by the way, obviously. And then 2 units of Chaos Warhounds, some Furies, 2 Fiends, and a Chaos Giant. The Giant was fun. The Giants are kind of cool though. Like it's
how are they different to like the how are they different sort of like the Orc ones and stuff in 6? Do they have like marks and stuff, or like they do?
I don't think they can take marks. Yeah. I think they're broadly similar to the Orcs and Goblins one, although I'm pretty sure the Orcs and Goblins one isn't leadership 10. Is it?
I thought they're all leadership 10 stubborn.
If leadership 10,
stubborn, yeah.
And this one's stubborn too. In that case, I think it's exactly the same.
I think it's
I don't think there's any differences.
All the Giants tend to be stubborn leadership 10.
Yeah. in that case, it was essentially the same. So we actually had a table that was like full of just impassable, sort of rocky looking terrain. It was like one forest on it. And actually, I rolled my spells. I didn't get any of the Master of Stone. Didn't get any of them. I think it was so annoying. I rolled two of them rolled Mistress of the Marsh. The third one rolled the number 6 spell, which is the Rain Lord. But then I took the Mistress of the Marsh for that one too, because he didn't have any shooting at all, so it was pointless having Rain Lord. But I did get 2 what's it called? The Halloween's, and one of the Father of the Thorn, which is the one of the direct damage spell. So so I would have liked a Master of Stone because the board was covered in stone, but I was just unlucky I didn't roll it. So we deployed I deployed similar to how I'll probably deploy most of these games, which is I've got I'll start from one side to the other. So I've got Knights Errant on the far left. I've got Mounted Yeoman, then the Growls, and then the Realms, and then I've got actually put one of the other errants in the center of the deployment this time, and then the Yeoman going, and then the Questing Night Bastard, and the Pegs, and then the Archers on the far right flank. He deployed opposite me. He's got the Warhounds and the Furies, and then one of the Knights. Then he's got a Spawn. Then he's got the Dragon sort of across my realms. Then he's got a block of the Warriors. And then he's got, did I mention he's got Marauders as well? Yeah, he had a block of 20 Marauders or so. And he's put that next to the Chaos Giant. Cool. Another unit of Knights, and then another Spawn, and then the Dogs right out on the far flank across from the Archers. And he obviously he went first because I prayed. Like everyone, I think today went first. Actually, no one chose to go second. Sometimes people do choose to go second because they're just like, I'm not going to waste first turn. I'm not going to do very much, so I'll just give you first turn. But everyone went first. So he did push up. Hold on, actually, I can put these photos. I've got some photos for this game at least, so I should put these into thingo. Hold on, I should add. Can I? No, that's not what we want. How do I add?
I might have to take that one off. You go present.
Can I do it in this? There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so that's the deployment.
Ooh.
I mean, I'll try to keep it. I mean, unfortunately, I did take some photos of this game. This game I took 0 photos, and in the last game I took 1 photo. Got a bit distracted.
I was, I mean, what I started doing with our bat reps was, I've got my watch, and it just continually 10-minute. I had 15-minute timers this time, and it just like my watch thumps me every 15 minutes because then I go, that's right, I've got to take a picture because you just forget.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's a
I
nice
need to get
army,
a watch so I can do that. Yeah.
I see what you mean. So for the list, the order, there is like 1, 2, is that 7 pieces of rocky terrain?
Yeah.
On the table?
Yeah. We played that thing on the far right as a forest, even though it looks really rocky because some of it looks sort of spindly, and we're like, just give us a forest, something other than just rocks. It's very barren. It's the most barren table I've ever seen.
That's the same mat that I just threw out, I think, that one. That's the one that fell apart for me. That's a fun gaming one, I think.
Good to know. Now, there's the objective. The scenario for this one was actually a central objective. So you can see it there on the photo. Interestingly, so the way Ben, the TO, had worked this out was similar to what I'd done with the slow grow, but it was his idea first, and I sort of just adapted it. It's like you get 1 scenario point if you're holding it at the end of the second round. You get 2 scenario points if you're holding it in the 4th round, and you get 3 scenario points if you're holding it at the end of the game, at the end of the 6th round. Yeah. So it's like a sliding scale, gets more and more valuable, but it's still worthwhile holding it as long as you can. Yeah. Which is kind of cool. So, does that photo come up? Okay, yeah, that's worked. Yeah, cool. So he moved up a few things because he put his dragon quite centrally. He could only couldn't really get around me in this game. He pushed his giant up a bit as well to try and sort of entice me to charging, and I think he was hoping to counter charge with the knights behind them, and I think he was also trying to hopefully trying to do the same thing with some of the knights and the way he'd positioned them with the warriors. I managed to get around the flank with the knight errant on the far left, which actually then let me get in behind his lines a little bit later on. Now, one thing that I found sort of crucial was that actually the way he used his dragon, I wonder if I've got a photo of it coming up actually. Yeah, so his dragon, he actually used it a bit more aggressively. I think he actually went and friendly charged my Knights of the Realm with the Lord in it. And I think he was hoping to break it. I mean, he did. It was kind of a scary moment for me because he did actually cause a terror check there, and if they'd failed the terror check, they would have been off the board immediately. And in the background of this photo, you can see the questing knights in combat with the Chaos Knights as well. So, so that one was a really dicey combat actually for me as well, because I was forced to charge the giant that he pushed up in front of them. They didn't kill it. I think they did a few wounds to the giant, but didn't actually kill him. And then the Chaos Knights actually came in as a counter charge.
They went in.
The alignment.
The
alignment of it was they didn't actually get a flank charge; they actually got a frontal charge, so we could only get one, and it was just clipping.
The clipping,
you know,
because the giant was originally there, is that what you're saying as well?
Yeah, the giant was originally there where that gap is. So they couldn't really maximize anything, and because I had a significant amount of static res in that unit, that I think it helped a lot to take the charge.
Can I just make a comment there? Sorry, because I've never seen this figure in real life. That AOS dragon to me doesn't look as big as I thought it was.
It fits beautifully.
Cool. Yeah,
it fits the scale. Absolutely.
For some reason,
everything.
I thought it was going to be pretty crazily big, and you have to hang it off this massive tactical rock to even get it onto a base and stuff. But it doesn't look out of place at all against those knights. You know, obviously it's bigger than the knights, but it's a dragon. But no, it's cool. Sorry, just. I hadn't seen it really in scale, so
no, I think and he's painted it really well. So that actually meant that with the Cow Knights charging there, they're sort of getting pinned there. I've got the Peg Knights in the far side of that photo. Had he actually come around the flank,
take the dogs out?
I think I got them to take out the dogs, and then they actually got charged by a spawn. And then, it took like two or three. I was sort of fortunate the spawn only did one wound. They actually did a wound back. It was I think I won combat because they outnumbered, but it was unbreakable. And then the next round actually did 2 wounds. And then they were freed up, so they actually could charge those knights in the flank in a later turn. So that sort of started to swing things my way. The smaller errants that I deployed centrally ended up charging into the Chaos Knights because I had no other target. I didn't want to charge the errands by themselves into the big block of Chaos Warriors because there was just too much static combat res. And even against the Knights, I was a bit worried about these errands because, they're only weapon skill 3, strength 5 on the charge with 1 attack each. There's only 6 of them. And 5 Chaos Knights, even not on the charge, it's still strength 5.
But you're wounding on
tough
3s.
4, I think. So only wounding on 3s. They've got a 2-up armor save. So, and that's basically what happened. Actually, I think on the charge they failed to do a wound, and then they took 1 wound back. I think they didn't break the first round. The second round they did break. I think, or is it? Oh no, that's right. We thought they were. For some reason, we played it as the Chaos Knights had caused fear. So we actually. Then he was like, oh, wait, actually, no, I think that's an AOS rule because he read it and he was like, oh, actually, it's not. So actually, they didn't break. They just lost combat by 1 and then we just roll it and they didn't break. So they just sat there for the second round. And then the following turn, the other errands that I mentioned that had gone down the flank actually charged them in the rear. Yeah. Now,
Oh, and
I'll go back to this photo.
Yeomans went in as well.
Yeah, well, they're sitting on the flank, why not? So before I go to the next photo, though, so the dragon combat was really crucial. Oh man, because he charged in. This unit doesn't have a warband, doesn't have any other stomach combat resin, but it did have 2 full ranks and a standard, and it was outnumbering. Now I don't think he challenged me, but I challenged him with a lord because he did issue a challenge, and I had to choose either the champ or do I do the lord? I'm like, let's just have a general battle. Let's just do it. Yeah. So yeah, even though I was worried that my lord might die, against Chaos Lord and Dragon, I was like, if he doesn't kill all 3 wounds, then I've got a chance of at least getting through at least 1 wound, because even though I'm not charging, I still auto hit. It is just strength 4, but we'll see what happens, right? So he doesn't fluff his wounds, but he probably rolled sort of average or maybe marginally below average. That I think the Chaos Lord got 1 wound through, and then the Dragon I think he caused 3 wounds on the Dragon, and I saved 1 on armor save, and then I rolled 1 5 up, and so he only took another wound. So I was like, oh god, yes, okay, he's still alive. So he managed to do. So I think he'd be tough 4, wouldn't he, or 5? I can't remember, but I think he was wounding on 4s because he's strength 4. So just automatically roll. I think he got 2 through, and then he failed 1 armor save, failed the ward, and I managed to cause a wound on the Chaos Lord. I was like, sweet. So I think I ended up winning combat by 3, I think, because I had the static combat res outnumbering 2 ranks and a standard plus the wound, and he'd done 2 wounds to me. Yeah, so there's 3. So he was testing on a 6, he only shipped 9, and I think he rolled a 9, and so he just broke. But he did manage to run away successfully. I think he outran me by like 2 or 3 inches. Yeah, but that was a crucial moment actually, because the way everything had advanced, in the previous
this is like
turn.
What, turn 2?
This is turn 2, really. Yeah. He was actually. I was actually quite like. I think he felt he was in his and I felt the same way. Like I was like, oh man, he's sort of starting to dictate things a little bit, and then that breaking actually opened up the board for me, the way the realm could advance, the way I could push the Grails up, and just the way that the giant died as well, and the Peg Knights becoming free to come in on the flank, and then the other errants coming around the rear to hit the Chaos Knights. Suddenly, everything just went my way. Yeah. And it just flipped on its head.
Are those Grails in the flank?
Yep. They've clipped the flank of the Chaos Warriors in the center, so the Grails will come from the sort of central flank out, and then just the angle that they've hit the Chaos Warriors on the side. Yeah, the other errant buses hit the Chaos Knights in the rear. One picture for people who can't see it, you're in combat with everything in his army, and the only thing you're not is a fleeing Chaos Dragon. It's a fleeing Chaos Dragon. Yeah, pretty much. And
in favourable combat,
charged as well. Like your Peg Knights have charged. Your Realm Knights have charged, your Grail Knights have charged, and your Errants and your Yeomen have all charged. Ouch.
Everything's in combat except for the Bowman, I guess.
Oh yeah, true. But
so I know. So this is turn 3 too. Like it's the bottom of turn 3. Like it's all happened so quick, really. And these are all favourable combats. Yeah, these are all flanks and stuff. Even the realm going to the front of the Marauders is not a concern. The Marauders aren't going to strike back. I'm going to do so many wounds. I'm going to, the Lords going to do 4 wounds straight up, and then all the other static combat res. Yeah. So essentially, I was able to win all those combats. Even the Chaos Dragon. So what happened was, you can probably see the photo. The way that the questing knights are positioned, meant when the Chaos Knights broke, which they did, the questing knights overran into the fleeing Chaos Dragon. Which is the end of the dragon.
I was going to say, it doesn't auto flee, you just kill it.
It doesn't auto flee. It's a fleeing troop. So if I run into a fleeing troop, and everything died in that turn. Yeah. So I ended up winning pretty handsomely.
What did
he got the first?
I was just going to say, with the Chaos Warrior block, did he not notice the flank of the Grails?
He couldn't. He was trying to maneuver it just because of the way that the all the units around him were positioned and the impassable terrain next to him.
He couldn't pivot.
He was struggling to. He couldn't pivot. Yeah. Yeah, so he couldn't find a way of getting out of the way, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, in which maybe you would be better off actually backing up rather than moving slightly forward.
But even then, he might not have been able to move enough because he'd only back up 2 inches, and you probably
So
maybe not. Well, you might have been in his front, maybe then, I don't know. Which wouldn't have mattered, still to have made the charge probably. But.
Yeah, I feel like even in the front, these 8 Ground Knights.
Oh
are probably going to break that block on the charge, even if it's in the front. Really, like they just do so many.
Probably would have been
much
better
damage.
in the front. Would have got even more attacks. But
what's the thing? Like I only clipped with literally one file. It wasn't even. It wasn't. It was. Well, it was 3 in that file.
Yeah,
so there was 3 Ground Knights that struck. But because he didn't get a rank bonus, that was the thing, So even though I did a smaller number of attacks, the Sunday Combat Res with the rank bonus, and I think I killed a few of them, but so I think it ended up being 19-1 for me for that one because I think he got the first objective point.
Okay.
Basically, that was it. So unfortunately, I don't have any other photos of the next one. The next one I was up against Chris Penwarden and his Grimgore's Ard Boys list, which is a sort of a fun list. I think he just took it because he liked the theme of it. So it had 3 massive blocks of orcs, of biggins. I think in Grimgore's Ard Boys you can take as many biggins as you like. So you had 2 units of 30 orc biggins and a unit of like 19 black orcs. So just massive unit, and he had them deployed quite bus-like. I think they're only like 5 wide. So they were like 6 deep or 7 deep. It was crazy. And he had a Black Hawk War Boss with a 4-up ward save, and a great weapon, and another big boss with a great weapon, and a BSB with a 1-up save. And he had 1 shaman with a double doing duads and the bound spell, and the Grimgore's Thingo just gives you the weird sort of bound spells and Effigy of Orc, which gives you some various buffs and that type of thing. He also had a giant, 2 spear chuckers, a rock lobber, and some arrow boys that he used as a sort of a
speed bump.
A speed hump, pretty much. And this game was a more conventional table. It was the terrain was more like Bretonian themed, I guess. It was like had a forest or 2, had some buildings, had a few other bits of like impassable sort of rocky terrain and a hill. And it was really a game where there was sort of 2 flanks that played out. He deployed his 3 main blocks sort of together in one corner, with the arrow boys in front and the rock lobber next to them and the others sort of shooter. And then he had the giant and the boar boys out on out on one far flank, and with the spear chucker over there as well. And that was sort of near a forest and a hill. Now I'd rolled some better spells. I'd rolled 3 Master of Woods. So every wizard had Master of Wood, and 1 Master of Stone, and the Father Thorn, the direct damage spell, and I can't remember what the other spell was, but not important. I managed to snipe his shaman in the first turn with Father of Thorn because he left him out. And I'd already discussed the spell before the game, and he knew that it didn't need line of sight, didn't need anything. And I just got the spell off. I was actually really lucky with the spells because we got that off and just punked his shaman in the first set. He was quite sad about that happening. And then I was also lucky with the spells because I was able to get off Master of Wood multiple times on. I got it off on the Boar Boys and took off maybe 3 of those guys. They were across from the Knight Errant. I've only put Errant and maybe some Yeoman and the Treb across from them. I got it off on the Boar Boys once, got 3 wounds off. They passed a panic check. Then I got it off irresistibly on the Giant as well, and rolled 5 d6 for string 5 hits. So I think I took and then I got 4 out of 5 wounds on a 4 up to wound, and so it's caused 4 wounds on him. And the next turn I got it off again irresistibly and did another 5. So the dragon just got taken. So that whole flank disintegrated basically.
Yeah.
He had there was that I managed to get he had a really tight charge. I think we measured it really closely, but for the Boar Boys to hit my errant, I think we just decided it was just out. And then my errant was able to charge the depleted Boar Boys and go through them. The other flank though was the main bit where I deployed my main 3 buses against the massive blocks of orcs. So I had to pretty much go across the board to get to him. The hard thing was actually trying to decide which guys I would go into. I got rid of the speed hump pretty much by charging it with the other knight errant, going straight through and overrunning right in front of the 3 blocks. And he deployed his blocks, so it was like there were 2 next to each other, and it was sort of next to the big effigy of the orc, which is a huge piece of impassable terrain. And then the 3rd block was just off further out to the flank, sort of sitting 45 degrees across, like looking across to the other 2, with a big watchtower in the way between him and me. So when I moved up my other knights, I had to make a decision about which one to charge, because the knights errant had moved out of the way because he'd tried to charge them and they'd fled, and that was so they were out of the way. And I ended up putting my grails by themselves into his. I think they were the big ones with the BSB, and then I decided to do a double charge with the questing and the realms into the Black Orcs with the War Boss, and I sort of left the other big block of big uns that were sort of looking across at me, without anything charged, because I felt like I was better off putting two doing a double charge rather than one into each, because I feel that with that so much Shadow Combat res, I was concerned that I'd struggle. And because he was so far back, I was hopeful that I'd just overrun. If I double charge those, I'd overrun off the table, and that 3rd block wouldn't be able to flank charge me. If you know what I mean.
Okay. Nothing to chap it with on that side.
I had some yeomen that were going up that flank, but because of the watchtower, it actually got in the way and meant I couldn't just zip them around in front of the block.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually, after I declared my charges, I was actually thought, maybe I should just charge them into the flank of that block, because it's 5 yeomen into the flank. They will disrupt ranks. It might actually hold them up. And I was like, do you mind if I charge it? He was like, no. I was like, all right, fine. So, which is fine, because
no backsies.
It felt like a little bit competitive game, because we both won handsomely the first round, and anyway, so I didn't have any protection, so it was a bit of a gambit for me to just charge into the 2 into the central block with two guys, and it sort of paid off, I guess. So the double charge did break the War Boss unit with the Black Orcs. And I got the realm off the board. Was it the realm? Yeah, I think it was the realm that was off the board. But the questing knights missed the table edge by like 1 inch. I was just short. I rolled an 8, and I was just like just short. I was like, so they were vulnerable to a flank charge.
Were they closer or the further of the?
They were closer too. Yeah, they were the closer one to the block, unfortunately. The Grails going into the other big uns didn't break. They did win the combat, but they failed to break them on the charge. Or did they win? Actually, it might have even been a draw, actually. Because what happened was that unit then failed its panic check from the other unit breaking.
Yeah.
Even though they're in combat, because the 6th edge takes panic checks anyway.
Yeah.
So they actually fled, but because I hadn't won the combat, I couldn't pursue. So they actually, so they fled away. They didn't flee off the board though, because I was trying to remember how this played out in my head the last day, because I'm like, how did I end up with the 2 charges? Because then they rallied, they turned around again, and my Growls charged in again. Because I'm like, I was thinking, it's like, this is not the old world. I don't give ground. How did I do consecutive changes? They actually failed the panic check, ran away, rallied, and then I was able to do a double charge with the errants that had fled, that had gone through the speed hub and fled. So they'd rallied. They were able to come back in and I was able to do a double charge with them and the Grails, and then actually was able to break that unit successfully. But while that was happening, the other big Biggins had charged the flank of the questing knights and broke them, and they fled off the board. And then the Biggins, what happened with the Biggins there? They had actually, there was a sequence of events there where they actually rolled slightly high enough. That's right. That's what it was. He rolled an 8 on the pursuit, which was an inch just enough to get him off the board as well, which was in my favor. Which is in my favor because that meant
set up.
That meant in my following turn, my guys came back on, and set up the charge, so that when his block came back on, I was able to charge him. Yeah, so I charged him. I still had the yeoman too, so I charged the yeoman into the flank, and I charged the other units into the front. And the yeoman actually all died, but because they disrupted at the start of the combat phase, he didn't get his rank bonus, and it was actually, I feel like it was a net positive. Anyway, I did actually break him. Yeah, like it was one of those things where I was like, I did have to make a choice about going in or not. Because it still wasn't a definite thing for me to go in. But I was like, I'm just going to go for a big win. And it worked in my favor in the end. I won. So I won that one 17-3, I think. So that was 2 games. It was only a 3-game tournament, so I was pleased with the outcome of both of those ones.
So you only lost the questing basically and the yeoman.
I think so. I feel like
that's pretty good.
I feel like I might have lost something else, but I can't remember if the realm did get affected by something or not. But yeah, I'd ended up with all the objective points because so the 6 out of 6 with the objectives, and I'd won 11-3 on the. What was it, 11-3? Yeah, 11-3 out of 14 because it was a weird scoring system. It was 0 to 14 with your victory points, and then 6 more points of. So it was like how we did with CanCon, but instead of going to 20, you went to 14, I think, out of 20 for the objective. So it's slightly unconventional, but it worked. I don't think I lost the realms. Yeah, so it was mainly the question I lost, which hurt, but. That still meant I could win fairly handsomely.
Yeah.
And then, final game was up against Hugh Evans with his Skaven lists. So he almost brought this to CanCon as well, but I think he ended up just the practicalities of bringing the army on the fly and a few other factors. Man, he did Marvel instead. But he brought a Skaven list, so Grey Seer with Warpstone tokens and the Eye of the Horn Rat. So it's just some extra power dice, an assassin with the Warpstone stars, a chieftain, a warp-like engineer. He's got 2 blocks of 20 slaves, 2 blocks of 20 clan rats, each with a rattling gun, and he had 2 units of 2 poison wind globadiers because apparently you can take them in units of 2. Which is so ridiculous. 2 rat swarms, a unit of 20 storm vermin, 20 plague monks, 3 rat ogres, 2 warp Jezzails, doom wheel, and 6 planes hexabearers. Like he almost had like 1 unit of everything in the army list. It's just a huge range of stuff. Now this game, this game was tough. Like there was a lot went on. I feel like there was some mistakes that I made in this one for sure. And there was a couple of even just rules things. So one of the things that happened that might have affected slightly the game for me, although not directly, but just because these are rule things, is that with the targeting of the weapons teams, like after we deployed and I rolled the spells and stuff, I was asking him, so with the weapons teams, like how do they work? Like can you target them or not? And are they just in like a separate unit or what are they? And kind of thing. And he was looking it up and stuff, and because I basically was trying to work out if I could target them with all my Law of Life spells.
Yeah.
Because I'd actually rolled pretty well again, so all 3 of them got Master of Stone, which is great. Because this is another pretty typical board.
Table.
I think it had a mixture of woods and impassable terrain and like hills and stuff as well. So it was a decent board. So I got three stones and one forest, like Master of Woods, and I think I got one Howler Wind. I didn't get a Father of the Thorn. But yeah, I got one Rainlord as well, but I never cast it. I don't think I cast Rainlord at all the whole game. But so I was like,
you mean whole tournament or whole game?
The whole tournament. I never actually cast it.
Yeah, it was a shooting one, wasn't it? The anti-shooting.
Yeah. So I think because I think we were trying to work it out, and I couldn't actually find the bit about magic missiles in the army in the books. I was kind of sure that because of the way that the Master of Stone reads, it's like any unit within 12 inches of the terrain can be, targeted, but so it's not a magic missile, right? But I just felt like I almost felt bad because he'd actually deployed his ratlings and the slaves right next to a big rocky piece of terrain.
Yeah,
and because I couldn't see the specific passage in the rule book. I actually sort of like, look, we'll just play it, we'll just play it like that, like whatever. Just because I feel like if he'd known that they could just take off the weapons teams, he probably would have deployed them not within 12 inches of that piece of terrain. So that which is fine, and I was happy just to play it like that. But I definitely made some
does that
other
mean
sort
you just
of
can't target them ever? Like, how does it work?
It can't target with shooting, is it?
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like a lone character within 3 inches of its parent unit. Like, you know what I mean? So you can target them in certain situations, but they essentially operate as a separate unit, but with targeting restrictions like they're a lone character.
Right.
But against certain spells, you should be able to pick them out and stuff. But anyway, that's how I played it. It's fine. But yeah, one mistake I did make is that I deployed my knights. Like I did most of my deployment normally, where I had my main blocks in the center. But my Lord's unit with the realm actually deployed out on the far flank next to the errant, and that was opposite the rattling guns and the slaves. The clan rat. So those two units, right next to each other. The board was punctuated a bit by terrain, which meant you had to sort of divide it up things a little bit. But having the realm over there left them a little bit unsupported, I feel, and they couldn't really help centrally as much as they might have been able to do. Because essentially I had the questing knights and the grails and the pegs across the storm vermin, rat ogres, the plague monks, the globadiers, in that area, and then on the other flank, on my left flank, I had the other errant knights with the pegs across the doom wheel and some slaves. And he had his Jezals right in the far back. Because there was some moments in the center that I just I couldn't get the right amount of force or focus my attacks, I suppose. Because it worked out that there were a couple of moments where I had a choice of, there was two things. So I had a choice with the questing, because he actually moved up kind of aggressively, and I pushed up. But there was a moment where I had some choices about what to charge with the questing knights, and they weren't that far away. They were only about sort of 8 inches away because he'd moved up in his turn. I had a choice between the rat ogres, which were a little bit across, or the storm vermin that were pretty much directly in front of the questing bus, and I charged the rat ogres. He actually fled with them. And he rolled 7, so I was +1 to get to 8 inches away. And because I had to wheel slightly, that meant they just ran out of my charge range, which was disastrous because it meant they just moved up, exposed the flank to the storm vermin. And it meant it was an easy flank for the storm vermin. In retrospect, I probably should have just charged the storm vermin. Because he would have been less likely to flee with them because they were a little bit closer, and he probably wasn't going to flee with them anyway because he probably felt that they had the static combat res to stay. And it just meant they got flank charge. I'll actually put up. I do have one photo of this actually. I might put this up now.
Where's the Gracia?
He was out on his own.
Was that his general?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So the Grey Seer was sort of next to. It was sort of between the rattling guns and the storm vermin. He was chilling it. Here we go. Cool. This is sort of midway through the game.
Oh
So this is after. So yeah, this is a couple things to go through. So this is just after the questing has moved forward and had the rat ogres flee them and have the storm vermin just in the flank. But the other thing you can see is there's a big bus of Grail Knights in a forest. It doesn't look like a forest, but it is a forest. And that's happened because he deployed a block of slaves right in front of his plague monks, like directly in front. The Grail Knights charged the slaves, broke them easily. But they fled, the classic six-head, right? They fled diagonally, which meant that instead of me overrunning and hitting the plague monks, overrun into a forest, which is like completely useless. They were also down to 4 because they'd taken a lot of wounds from the
getting out of there,
warp lightning and stuff. They were in that forest. They got hit by another warp lightning, by the way, and then the unit got wiped, except for the mage. She actually lived. She lived. She lived. I think he tried to shoot the bound spell, the storm demon, at her, and then it was that moment, by the way, that I realized and remembered that my damsels have magic resistance 1.
Yes.
I'd forgotten about it. I always forget this rule.
Dice in 6.
Yeah, it's an extra dice. Yeah. It's so important, and I forgot it all day. I forgot all my tournaments last year. I completely forgot about it. And so I was like, I do get 1 dice for that. So I actually rolled it. I don't remember how level is of the storm demon, but I rolled the 6, so I dispelled it. So she lived. That's right, because I'd used up all 5 of my dice trying to prevent the Grey Seer casting plague on my realm bus.
Right.
I rolled the double 1. It went off anyway.
Oh,
so even though plague was, even though the realm bus had charged the clan rats. Both units got affected. Now, this was another mistake I made in this phase of the game, because the reason they're only in combat in this turn, this is like turn 3, I think, is because they actually had a speed bump of those, those crappy 2-man guys I was talking about, Globadiers. Rather than target them with my Master of Stone, actually, for some reason, I started to target the clan rats, hoping to trigger a panic check, because it's still 2d6 4 hits, and I felt like that would probably do enough. But then I only rolled 4 hits, and then so I only killed 4. I was, 3 or 4 of the clan rats. I should have actually just taken off the Poison Ring Globadiers, because
then you would have been able to get the charge earlier or something, was it? Or...
Yeah, because he just used a speed hump, another turn to get into the clan rats, and then by turn 3, they got plagued horribly. He also shot both of the rattling guns into that unit as well.
Does it jump to another unit as well?
Yeah. So the errants on the far flank also had charged the other unit of clan rats. They, so he rolled the 6, and so the plague spread to that combat. So both units in both combats, he actually ended up killing a lot of rats doing this, by the way.
Yeah.
But he did kill a significant amount of knights. And then he shot the rattlings.
You don't care if you kill your own guys, but
God, no.
it's
really killing your own rats if you're escaping.
It was ridiculous. He shot the rattlings in as well. The rattlings hadn't done that much damage in the first turn because he actually moved them cautiously up. He thought I was deployed on the line. We're 14 inches up. So it was 20-inch deployment zone. And he pushed him up 2 inches, and then eventually was like, "Oh, actually, you're like way out of 18 inches." I'm like, "Yeah, I didn't actually deploy on the line, man." But then the following turns, he actually dispel scrolled. So this is the thing, actually forcing dispel scrolls. So my first game, Travis had used up both of his dispel scrolls at the end of the second turn. This turn, he actually used his dispel scroll to, I think he tried to prevent Halloween, because Halloween would have been amazing to get off against the rattling guns, because they're straining 4 shots, so he wouldn't have been able to shoot the rattling guns at all, which would have been perfect. But I just couldn't quite get it off. 12-inch bubble. Anything around that can't be shot. Or maybe, I think I also just didn't get it off once as well. It was a bit frustrating. But where was I? So, yeah, so he plagued those things. You know, he did a lot of damage to his own rats, but he ended up, you know, taking those units down to 2 or 3 guys once the rattlings were done, and the plague rolling was done. His turn 3 took ages doing all this, by the way. So this was taking quite a while. So yeah, because they ended up with the ground ice being decimated down to 1. The questing bus got hit in the flank. They lost combat, but they actually outran storm vermin. So they actually survived, which was quite impressive. The Peg Knights got charged by the Grail monks. Fled the charge because they weren't in a good position at all. I rolled 16 on the flea roll, and they flew off the board. They were like in the middle of the table, and they flew off the board. I was like, shit. Oh, it was so disappointing. And then I think that was most of it. So it ended up like I did manage to kill a few things, like the other small unit of errant knights. They and the Peg Knights had actually killed the Doom Wheel, because the Doom Wheel is a random movement thing, and he pushed it up, and then he pushed it up again, and it was just, you know, I'd been patiently waiting for the chance to charge it, and then I managed to hit it in the flank with the errants and the pegs in the front, and I broke him and overran him. They overran into the swarm, and they managed to kill that in 2 rounds of combat. I was actually quite fortunate. I think on the charge they did 4 wounds of, you know, there's a 5 wound each base, so there's 10 in total. I did 4 wounds on the first round. And in the second round, when the errants weren't even charging, they managed to pull off 6 wounds. And this swarm is like 130 points. I was actually surprised that they managed to take it off. It was quite fortunate that I picked up those points at the end of the game. Because, I hadn't picked up a huge amount of points otherwise. The realm bus, what remained of it after they'd overran past the clan rats, which were, you know, because the clan rats were down to like 4 guys at the end of his turn 3 when he'd done all the plague and stuff. His turn 3, because of so much dice rolling, ended up being like 45 minutes. And then suddenly it was like 15 minutes to go, guys. And we're like, we're still trying to finish off his turn 3. I haven't even done my turn 3. And, you know, I felt like this game ended up taking quite a long time just because there was so much to do. So we were like, all right, I'll just try and crack through my turn 3, because, you know, there was a bit for me to do. I think we ended up giving us extra 10 minutes just so I could get my stuff done. So the Lord and the other 2 other realm guys actually managed to get a charge off on the Jezals in the backfield. At least collected the points for them, and I got to rally a few things, and killed the swarms in that last turn as well. And that was sort of the, like, I did end up losing this one. I think I lost. It was not that. It was close because of when the game ended. I think I lost 11-7. I feel like if we had time for another turn, he would have been able to sort of get a bigger win, I think, just in the position I was, but just because of how long it all took.
What was the scenario? Like,
the scenario for this one was actually just a regular pitch battle.
Oh, okay, right. So
essentially, and then there was bonus points, but it was for random things like if you killed your opponent's most expensive unit, you got 2 scenario points, which he had done because he killed my Grails, and I hadn't killed his Storm Vermin, which it turned out was his most expensive unit, which makes me even more
angry.
I should have just charged that unit. The realm actually did deny him some points though, because there was 3 of them there, unit strength of 6. It was in his deployment zone, and you miss out on a point if your enemy does have a unit of 5, unit strength 5 or more in your deployment zone. Yes. Cool. I think there was a couple of things like that, but it all ended up to 7-11. So it was weird playing this game though, because I've done reasonably well in the other tournaments that I played last year, but it was always like I wasn't like playing for the tournament, if you know what I mean. Like in those games, it was always like I would maybe get a good result in the last game and pop up, you know, to second. But this game was different because there was a little bit like, oh, you guys are on the top table, you know. Oh yeah, see who can win. The thing was, like, he was actually really, like. Actually, I've met him before. I met him at CanCon, and like I hadn't played Warhammer with him before, but it was still quite a friendly game. Like we weren't playing in a bad spirit at all, and actually really enjoyed it. Like to be honest, I wasn't feeling a huge amount of pressure. I was just like trying to focus on winning. Like as I said, like when I play these tournaments, I'm really just there because I just like playing. I know I've got 3 games to play, and I just like playing them and trying to play in a fun spirit. Yeah. So it certainly wasn't like, I don't think the pressure got to me, but I think part of it was probably some experience playing Skaven. I hadn't played against Skaven in a 2,000 point battle before or anything bigger. Like I played one 600 point game during Slow Grow, and that was sort of the only game I played against Skaven in 6th Ed. So yeah, there was definitely some mistakes I made in that game, but he played really well as well.
And
Anyway, Hugh is now talking about running another 6th Ed tournament in Melbourne in a few months. Like he's now like all excited about playing 6th Ed. So I feel like me losing has maybe been a good idea, because that way he's like
keeps it going.
He's super excited about organising some more stuff.
So what was the overall results then? Obviously, so he won.
He won, and I came second.
I think I saw the scores. Were you two like way ahead of everyone?
No, not at all. Not at all. So I'll get the scores. Because he was way ahead in the end, and I actually wasn't sure if I was going to come second or not, because I didn't know what the other tables had done, whether someone was going to pop up above us. But he ended up on 49. I was 43, and then Dave Short came third, and he had a dwarf 7th Ed, 6.5 Ed dwarf book, and he was on 41. So he wasn't, he was not that far off. I think after that there was a bit of a gap. So then, Chris Penwarden, who I played second game, came fourth. And then it was Nick Taylor and Paddy. Guys, Paddy came. I can't remember mentioned this. Paddy came all the way from Sydney. She flew down the day before, took it, then she flew to Melbourne. You have to remember, Ballarat is a country town. It's not even in Melbourne. So she flew to Melbourne, then had to get a train out to Ballarat. Like ridiculous. All for a one-dayer. Oh wow. Some devotion to 6th Ed. Yeah. She was like, I'm playing. So she brought her Amazon. I'm not sure if many people saw it at CanCon. She used it at the doubles the next day, but she's been designing from scratch this Dogs of War Amazon army. Looks incredible. Like her style is just so cool. And she hadn't quite finished painting it, unfortunately, but she hasn't really shown it off at all. It's just people who might have seen it when she's been playing it, but she should really publicize it a bit more. Hopefully when she finishes painting them all, because the style she's put in, the effort she's gone to is so good. So she came 6th, and Travis, my other opponent, Cashley, came 7th as well, and Will, the other Slow Grow guy who was there, came 8th. So the Slow Grow guys did pretty well. And I feel like my strength of opponent didn't do too badly, because they ended up pretty hard. But yeah, Slow Grow represent.
Who got best painted?
I did.
Oh, did you get it? Because Trav's army looked pretty good as well. That looked really nice.
Yeah, he did. He was close. I think I heard I got 8 votes and he got 6. Like he would have deserved to win best paint. I wasn't sure if I would get it. Like I don't know. Like it was weird getting second and then also getting best.
Yeah, if you get a podium.
Yeah. But they didn't give. Ben didn't actually give vouchers for the podium. He only gave vouchers for best sports, halfway hero, best painted, and like that kind of thing. So he essentially only got the one prize, obviously. But yeah, I was pleased to get that because. I put a lot of work into the Bretts. But yeah, Travis would have deserved to win it too, because his Slannesh army looked
looks
quite amazing. But yeah, so that was my Uprising summary. Wow, that was quite in depth, wasn't it? That was
it's good. No, it
was almost an hour.
It makes you think. Yeah, is 6 going to still hang around? And it probably will, which is interesting, which is good. Like it makes me think more and more that, especially for Tomb Kings, because I love playing them in 6 to keep some of those 20 mils. Just so you can play.
Yeah. Maybe you should
have to freak around with bases and stuff. Yeah.
So, look, I don't think it'll be that stringent though. Like even if 6 does hang around, you'll be able to play it with tower bases for sure. Like I don't think there'll be anyone complaining about that.
It's just harder to go back down the other way, but I guess you just to do the maths. I guess.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, it's hard to go back, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if it's not that hard to paint out extra skellies, maybe just keep
it's
some
only
20s.
it's the Tomb Guard that I've rebased, but potentially I wouldn't take them. Like I like the chariots and everything in sixth.
Yeah, you're not going to take them in sixth anyway.
Magic movements, yeah. So
the good thing with the like 80% of your army is that it's all just chariots and it's the same base size, whether it be six or the old world.
Totally.
Yeah.
So it is. It's a fairly easy one. Yeah, totally. Yeah, which is good.
Yeah.
Oh, we might. I mean, we got a game in, but we're going to do the battle report. So I don't know if there was much. Did you want to bring anything up with that, Andrew? Or
Nah. Well, it was.
I'm so interested to hear about what actually happened with this thing.
What
happened with the dragon? You know, what happened with the counters?
Scenarios. We rolled up the breakpoint one, which is interesting as well because we didn't technically play it. So with that one, you're supposed to just keep playing until you break. But we didn't. We just played 6 turns. Just not because it got late, but plus we just went like 6 turns. But technically, you would keep going. Yeah.
Well, how far off did you think you were broke? Like, were you not far off someone breaking at 6 turns, or did you feel like it would be quite a few more turns to get to that point?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be 2 more turns. Yeah, that's
the break point actually could have gone anyway, I think, by the end of it.
Oh, really? Well, how'd you work out who won?
Oh, we didn't.
Oh, okay. Right. Should have asked some questions.
No. Well, it was a bit of a tournament list. So, like, if people didn't hear this or haven't seen it, it's like the scenario is that we're both going to a tournament. So you had a tournament-ish list, and Gomo was going to bring a dragon, and I was going to bring an army of dwarves that
there could be dragons there.
There could be dragons. So I can't just bring all artillery just to focus on a dragon, but I'd have to have a list that would be able to deal with the dragon, just to see how the two actually went, and just testing this whole monster dragon hammer theory out. And there was some pretty surprising results in the end.
That's good. Yeah.
But yeah,
interesting. That's a real tease. Oh,
tune in.
Can't wait for you guys to put this out.
Oh, it was. Yeah, it was. It was. There was some MVPs, but yeah, I'll definitely. There was some definite MVPs. I think I'll be taking from my dwarves now on. That went really, really well, and there's some things I definitely won't be taking ever again.
Very curious.
It worked out really well. I think it's a pretty good game. It's
good. It's just like I was saying at the beginning of just playing more games and learning more is pretty important as well, especially trying to get used to the maneuverability of dragons and stuff. It's you're always trying to work that out. So I feel like that's actually where it'd be easier almost to play online with those, because it tells you how far you're moving when you're doing wheels and stuff.
When you're doing wheels,
yeah. So just to sort of work that out. But
yeah, when you're going over terrain and things like that, it makes it really difficult to.
Yeah.
So
cool. No, we'll do that up. We'll do the video up, like a shorter one. It would just be a 40-minute one, and people can see what happened on that game. And as I said, we'll try to get our next stream up in the next week or so, hopefully with someone else. So maybe we'll get one of our local people to come around and have a game.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Maybe I can come over and commentate.
Yeah, we'll have someone
look up rules,
controlling, that sort of stuff. So that way it goes a bit
rules
smoother.
Control person.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Well, we won't spend too much time on ours then, because we'll just do that, and that way we can wrap this one up probably. Because we have.
Yep.
Our usual time, I think.
Yeah. Pretty decent episode with all my rambling.
Yeah, and I guess if you're listening to this or got to the end of this, let us know if you want us to try to a stream on Thursday for live Adepticon. What's it called? Response or what? No, what do you call it? Not response. What's it called? When you're watching it live, your reaction.
Oh yeah,
that's it. We'll see how we go. Sometimes that's hard for you though at that time, isn't it, Andrew? 2 p.m.
Oh, 2 p.m. Yeah. But is it all at 2 p.m.?
How flexible are you guys? I don't understand how you can be doing this at 2 p.m.
I'm pretty flexible at the moment. But yeah.
I'll see. I might have to. Colin's just reminded me that I might have something at 2 p.m. I'll look into it.
Because I don't have to drop. I only have to pick kids occasionally up at 2. But that's at 3. But that's only down the road, so it makes it easier.
Yeah, no, I need to drop kids up at 3. So
you know what I just remembered? Because you're thinking about work and that I'll be doing surgery and stuff. I totally forgot about the whole thing about the dragon. I want to talk about it next week.
Okay, yeah. The Nick's comment.
The anatomic.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Nick from the Dwellers of Lowe's ridiculous comment about dragon anatomy.
And,
I've got a good 10-minute spiel about that.
That's
so
right.
I won't start it now.
Can't believe you
it's
didn't
too late.
bring that up.
I got too much with Uprising. I
hope you got some diagrams.
I'll go through it next week.
Yeah, there'll be some diagrams of that anatomy. Yeah, like a little
podcast.
We've missed the anatomy section of the podcast. We haven't done that for a while.
Yeah, should put it back in the show notes. Anatomy.
Awesome, everyone. Well, we might wrap this one up. Thanks for listening to another Old World Fanatics episode. Like I said at the beginning, if you enjoyed our ramblings, we always like 5-star reviews either on your podcast software or in YouTube. Just hit the like and subscribe buttons and be notified of not just this video and channel or whatever, but also all the other videos we're going to be trying to put out. And if you do feel so inclined, join our Patreon or just hit us up on socials if you ever want to send us a question, send us a topic, whatever. Just search Old World Fanatics. You'll find us out there. And until next time, thanks for listening, and thanks, Josh and Andrew, for another episode. And I guess
thank you.
We'll see you next week, if not before then. Cheers, guys.
Probably.
Ciao.
See ya.